Hey everyone, it's November 8th and it's Wednesday and we're back. Welcome to BRAP everyone. Big shout out to everyone in the live chat. Thank you so much for hanging out with us again this evening. Do me a quick favor, hit that like button. And I just dropped a link in the live chat if you could do me a favor and retweet it or exit or whatever the hell it's called now. And let everyone know that we're live. And I appreciate the patience as well. Meant to start the show a little bit early, about 15 minutes ago. I meant to start the show and got caught up here catching up with our returning guest this evening. It's been a while since we've had her on the show, but I want to welcome Eric Cuts for the win. Cuts, welcome back to BRAP. How are you today?
Hello. Good, good. Yeah, we were definitely catching up. We lost track of time.
Yeah,
But it's good to be here, as always.
we definitely did. And by the way, I enjoyed your review of Spider-Man 2.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
No,
I wish more people did.
Yeah, what happened? Like I saw that you like say the YouTube algorithm was like killing you.
I was stressing out today. It's just one of those days, you could be having a good run, videos doing pretty good, and then all of a sudden it's like nothing. So I don't know. I think it's just one of those hills I got to get over again, maybe.
Yeah.
But then again, I was going to say, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm a Souls channel and I did a Spider-Man review. So I'm not really surprised. Sometimes it just be like that. So
yeah, that's true. Good. Yeah. I mean, especially if people like, if that's kind of your shtick with your YouTube channel, and then you kind of deviate a little bit. I can see that happens sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I expected it, but I'll be all right.
Yeah. No, but I thought it was a great review. Yeah. No, it was great.
Thank you. Yeah. I had fun with it. I took a couple jabs at Sony. You know how I do. I make it fun. I try and have fun with it. It's cool.
What was it? The Sony formula?
Yeah, the template.
The template. That's what it is. The template. That's so
Sony
fun.
Template.
The Sony template. That's funny.
I got to bring those back. Those were fun to do. The shorts that I did for that. Yeah.
Yeah, those shorts were funny.
For sure.
And I think B, are you back? B joined us, and then he's on mute, so I don't know if he's back yet. You there, B? If he's not, then there he is.
What's going on? What's going on? I'm here.
B Money.
Arguing back and forth with people on Twitter about games as a service because everybody seems to be idiots. So,
oh man,
let's talk about this, B, because I've seen people. I got to say this real quick, Cuts, and you probably see this a lot. I feel like, God bless the gaming community, by the way, because
bless their hearts,
bless their hearts, because they freak out about everything.
Yep.
Oh my God, Sony's doing gas. No more first party. No more single player. No more Sony template, as you call it. That's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Or WB's doing gas. Oh, it's the industry's. Oh, I saw somebody say he thinks the industry is going to collapse now because publishers are doing gas games as a service. I'm like, are we forgetting about all the single player games that are going to be in conversation next week for Game of the Year? Are we forgetting all these single player games that are being developed right now? Like, what is happening? And it's just like this knee jerk reaction of the sky's falling and this is the worst thing that's ever happened to gaming. I've been gaming a long time. I saw the industry collapse once, and we could thank ET for that. I'm dating myself here a little bit, and that was because gaming had become a commodity. And they were like the idea of quality was thrown out the window and it just collapsed. So,
right.
So B, so what do you, because I did see, you tweet something to the effect that with the increased cost risk of AAA games or just games in general. And it's interesting because I see people put a lot of emphasis on games as a service being very difficult, and that so many fail. And I'm like, do you know how many single player games fail? I can tell you that number. It's 95% of single player games fail. I would say 95% of all video games fail. Only 5% of video games that are released actually are profitable. Go ahead, B.
Exactly.
That's wild.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was getting at with this argument that I have going back and forth with some people on Twitter, because we saw the announcement today from WB saying that they're gonna start focusing on live service games. This is something I've been talking about on the show, for at least the past month or so, because everybody's all up in a tizzy because of, PlayStation doing games as a service, and there's rumors that they were killing off games, and then one of the developers on Factions comes out and says that yes, I'm still working on the game, which I told you they were. So everybody's all up in arms because games as a service is going to kill the game industry that they know and love. And I just don't understand what people don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why these companies are coming out saying that they need to do this. WB literally laid it out. They need recurring revenue. WB released one of the highest selling video games this year in Hogwarts Legacy.
Right.
And they're still coming out saying that they need to make games as a service. There's a reason why they're saying that. Even though they have one of the highest selling games of the year, once you're done playing it, guess what? There's no more money.
Mm-hmm.
That's
no
it.
microtransactions and
Right.
Yeah.
and stuff.
It's over with. So
unless you're Nintendo,
they're going they're going to venture into having recurring revenue.
Yeah.
Because they don't release enough games similar to PlayStation. They have all these great studios, but they take 4 and 5 years to release games. So when you have that, you need money coming in. You still got to pay these people. You still got to keep the lights on. You know what I mean? You still putting all these developers in brand new offices every other year. All that stuff costs money. So if you don't have money coming in and only money going out, guess what? You're losing money.
Mm. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I never really thought of it that way, of the whole gap between games. I mean, it does take a long time for these games to come out. And so making money between them, yeah, I could see why they would go that route with the games as a service.
Yeah.
Especially now in this climate after the Fortnites and all the Apex and all those games are out and making money, they want to tap into.
The interesting thing, Erica and B, is that, like the development cycle for AAA games is like 5, 6, some cases 7 years. It's been 10 years.
Waiting on GTA 6 for 10 years.
Exactly. Yeah, and
we're all putting up our pictures
longer.
today.
If not
you
longer.
See that? We're all putting up pictures. This was 10 years ago when GTA came out.
Hey, Cuts, I meant to ask you, like, which one was your 2013 pick?
Someone else asked me that too. I was like, you're sweet.
I'm like, Cuts you have not aged.
You do look the same.
Cuts, you look the same.
I look a little different. My hair is different.
The hair is different, but
you got a different hairstyle, but that's about it.
I'm like, I need to talk to like Cuts, see what her vitamin regimen is, like what she's doing.
You know what somebody asked me? They're all legit too. They're like, "Did you make a deal with the devil?" I was like, "What?"
Yeah, you made the deal with the devil, like in Baldur's Gate 3. Oh my goodness.
No, but I mean, I look young, I guess, for my age. Now I feel like because I'm a mom now, and like, I think I'm starting to catch up. I'm starting to look a little older now, during 2013 time, I looked mad young, super young, and I was like 30. So I was looking,
Yeah, and you're a Raiders fan, unfortunately. That's another conversation.
Maybe that's the secret. To be a Raiders fan. You would think that would age me, though. I should get all that pain.
All that,
you would think that would have aged me. So maybe if I was a fan of a different team, I would look even younger.
Well,
who knows?
Yeah. Well, to B's point, like about filling in that gap, and like in between releases, like you got to keep the lights on. You got to pay your people. Talent isn't cheap these days. And with how long the software development lifecycle for AAA games is. Like these, we had Jeff Grubb on. We haven't had Grubb on in a while, but I think one of the episodes we had Grubb on, and he talked about kind of like the easy lift for developers to make games as a service games. The development cycle is longer. It's an easier lift. It's less money, and they can release these games quicker. And so, to B's point, and I think this is why PlayStation is focusing on gas. They are long development cycles. Look, you want that Sony template, as Cuts calls it. You want those games that are bangers that have a high bar quality. That doesn't happen in 3 or 4 years. those take time and money and resources. So this is kind of one of the reasons why Sony's looking to pivot and find another revenue source, a reoccurring revenue source, to help fund some of these projects. But yeah, I don't buy into the sky's falling narrative, or that the industry's dying. I feel like sometimes gamers just tend to overreact. It's a quick knee-jerk reaction. And actually, I do want to read real quickly what Warner Brothers CEO David Zaslav, I hope I'm pronouncing his last name correctly, what he said in their latest earnings calls, where he said that they basically want to drive engagement, monetization of longer cycles. So I think it was either you, B, or Erica that said, like, once you play a AAA game, I mean, that's pretty much it. Single player camp, you're done, right? That old one and done,
Yeah.
Unless there's, some DLC that drops, then you may go back and play it. Or if the game maybe has a co-op or multiplayer component to it, like Ghost of Tsushima. Mm-hmm. But the CEO of Warner Brothers said that he basically said that it's their focus is on transforming their biggest franchises from largely console and PC based with 3 to 4 year release schedules to include more always on gameplay through live services, multi-platform and free to play extensions, and the goal to have more players spending more time on more platforms. And then he says, ultimately, in quotes, ultimately we want to drive engagement and monetization of longer cycles at higher levels. We're currently under scale and seeing an opportunity to generate greater post-purchase revenue. So, and they've had some really successful games. I think B, you mentioned Game of Thrones, or not Game of Thrones, Harry Potter. I don't know why I say Game of Thrones.
I was supposed to say Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
What I miss?
Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat 1. He said that it sold nearly 3 million copies since launching in mid-September.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Cuts, do you think the sky is falling on the gaming industry?
It's funny. I was on Double XP last week, and they were asking me the same thing about Sony, because Sony, was kind of having some bad news lately, and the layoffs and things like that. And I mean, they're everywhere. And then as well as this thing with the games of a service, and it's like, I don't know anymore. I really don't know. Like, I feel like it's fine, but I mean, honestly, I don't know even how to answer that question, BRAP.
Yeah. No, I understand.
It's funny because, like, people only really only want the big budget titles.
Mm-hmm.
And those big budget titles take time. Like, nobody plays like the mid-tier titles anymore. Every mid-tier game they released this year and last year, nobody talks about because nobody played it. Every one of them. The only one you could probably say that people talked about was what was the other Soulsborne game that you played?
Lies of P.
Erica, the shooting one.
Oh, Remnant?
Remnant, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the only one that people like held in high regard. But other than that, every other game, like, nobody talks about, nobody cares. They barely touch a million copies sold. You look at all the layoffs from these studios. They lay off more than half their staff. You don't know if they're going to be able to make another game. I mean, what do people want? It's got to be the best of the best, or people don't want it. Even in the indie scene, it's got to be the best of the best. If it's not like something that's held in high regard or like something that people are talking about a lot, people don't play these indie games. They get thrown to the wayside.
I guess it just depends on the community you talk to, maybe. Because there's times where I feel like, with the Souls community, for example, like, we're talking Remnant, we're talking a ton of Lies of P. Even Lords of the Fallen, people like that game. I personally didn't, but people are talking about them. But if you go outside of that, people are like, Lies of who? Like, they're not really caring about these games. So I think it just depends and on the community. But yeah, if you're looking at it as a whole and like with casuals all included, yeah, it's about Call of Duty or it's about Madden or, you know, they beyond that, they don't even know what games are on what systems. They don't know what's going on. So I think it just depends on that. Because I'll be surprised sometimes. Like I'll be really hyped on a game. We're talking about it like crazy. And then when I go outside of my community or outside of like my own channel or something, it's like nobody's really talking about it. So it if that makes sense, it's like I think it just depends who you talk to.
Yeah, and there's some people, like B said, like there's a high demand signal for AAA games. There's some people that don't want to play their game, don't want to pay for their games. They want free AAA experiences, you know. That
or they hate AAA. Like there's some people who just hate AAA stuff. They just don't like it because it takes forever. Like we're talking about, it's all fluff and graphics, and they want more of like a unique experience that's, you know, a little more, maybe more artsy or more impactful. And you know, it just depends on who you talk to, like I said.
Yeah.
There's an audience for everything, but yeah, it just can be overlooked because in the mainstream way of things, nobody's talking about it.
Yeah, real quick, I do want to introduce, I didn't see him in the Discord. My apologies. I sent him a text message, but Game Logic, how are you this evening?
A man is good.
Logic, do you feel like the industry is on the verge of Go ahead.
That was my joke about being nobody from Game of Thrones.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Jeez, man, you were.
I didn't hear it either, but I'm tired. So
see, I didn't hear it. See, I'm not the only one. I didn't hear it.
I thought it was me.
I said a man is good, right? Like the guys from Brazos who said, you know, a man is nobody, like the faceless.
Oh
faceless.
Yeah. Okay.
Gotcha.
That's a deep cut. That's a little deep on the Game of Thrones lore. I probably shouldn't have started with that one right off the bat.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've watched Game of Thrones. So Logic, I don't know how much you caught of the conversation, but you know, like B was talking about that there's, because of WB announcing kind of the focus on some of their larger franchises being gas, that that the sky's falling on the gaming industry. I actually saw I actually saw someone tweet, "We're on the verge of collapse." Or the gaming industry's on the verge of collapse. And I'm like, okay, pump the brakes. It's not that bad.
The outrage, you know, the fake outrage.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say the verge of collapse. I mean, obviously you heard, you know, we were talking about that a little bit Sunday night on the Enough to Keep Going show. And, you know, I specifically said, look, we're not teetering on the edge of the, of kind of the bankruptcy of the gaming industry that we saw in 1983, right? The big industry crash, market crash back then. So we're not doing that. But what I said is there are dynamics that are similar, that are in place, right? And dynamics that are similar in terms of, you know, they are the opposite of that. So, you know, the main cause of that crash was that you had a lot of shovelware that was going out because, you know, gaming companies got to a point where they didn't care. They just cared about pumping out stuff at volume, and they felt, you know, gamers would play anything. What does that sound like, right? A lot of the market forces and dynamics that we have today, where I've talked about, I get it, people are tired of hearing me say it, but, you know, I talk about this rising demographic of the addressable market, the player market, that only cares about low cost of access, right? And that's not, people get frustrated and people get angry and they feel like that's an Xbox thing. You know, it's not just an Xbox thing. It's also a highly generational thing, right? When we look at the returns from the IGN surveys from a few years ago, one of the major insights that was discovered from that data was that, you know, Gen Z has a very large swath of player who just won't pay for anything. Like they will literally play Fortnite, not pay into it at all, earn enough coin to just buy like the next season pass. And those types of games survive on nothing but the whales almost entirely, right? So you have an entire strata of a generation that is just bound and determined to not pay for stuff, and they go from free to play game to free to play game. So there, you know, and then there are the I won't call them the Xbox crowd, but you know the people that we normally think of as aligned to that brand, because, you know, who give a very loud voice and show a rising market demographic, like I said, of people who are only concerned about low cost of access. They don't, you know, 4K 30 is fine for them, frame rates and stutters are fine for them. Low performing games that don't have high graphical fidelity are fine for them. Meanwhile, those games go to things like Steam, and you see where, as you and I have talked, right, you have something like Forza Motorsport that is at like a 36% Steam community acceptance rating, which, just shows that, two radically different demographics, one for whom a thing is fine and another one for whom like a thing is unacceptable. As long as those market forces remain in stringent opposition and there's a lot of healthy tension, then there's room for the market and there's room for performance. What I talk about and what you and I have gone back and forth about and what we get concerned about are if one of those market forces hits a tip over point and starts a kind of sliding of the industry where suppliers are incentivized to an overwhelming preponderance of one behavior or the other, right? A large percentage of suppliers starting to pump out stuff that is designed for the people who are only concerned about low cost of access because that's where the bulk of the consumer market winds up aligning. By the same token, just like B Money said, and I've said the same thing to you, BRAP, because I feel like sometimes you fit into this demographic, right? The people who play nothing but AAA.
Whoa. Hey. No slander today. I like my AAA experiences, okay?
And I don't just mean you. I mean people who are the extreme, right? The types of gamers that I talk about who literally only play the front page. Right. The types of gamers who literally only play the front page of Metacritic. And kind of like Erica was saying, like, if you ask them one question that takes them beyond that front page of Metacritic, they know nothing of what's going on in the industry or what's on offer. These people who yammer about, we need to stop throwing all the money at indies. Game Pass is okay because all these, all these indie games come in and they're available. And I'm like, okay, here's the list of indie games that scored an 80 or above on Metacritic last year. Remember when I put that list out? There was like 30 something titles. Yeah. And I said, how many of these titles have you played? Right. I got nothing. Silence. Because people hadn't played them. Because they're only concerned about the AAA, and as much as there's a volume about this insistence that they're part of some new generation of connoisseur, right? That's just hardly the case, and we see that that's not proving itself out, right, in the commercial data.
Yeah, that's a great point, Logic. I do want to pivot here to because I know we talked about someone just mentioned layoffs. There was some more news regarding layoffs. Ubisoft sees layoffs across their visual effects and IT teams. And I'm going to read an article here per GameIndustry.biz. By the way, if you're not following GameIndustry.biz or getting your gaming news from them, please check out GameIndustry.biz. No, they don't sponsor the show, but in my opinion, they're the best of the best of the best in terms of gaming media coverage or journalism. So Ubisoft announced that they are laying off 124 employees, and they said that over the past few months, every team within Ubisoft has been exploring ways to streamline our operations, enhance our collective efficiency so that we are better positioned for success in the long term. I wish I had a dollar for every time I've read that this year in 2023, and within my own organization too, I might add. Who I just found out, Logic, we're getting ready to go through another round of layoffs. Smaller in scope, different, not my team, but one group that's seen the most amount of layoffs, and then another group, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm over it at this point.
It's everywhere. It's happening all over.
They went on to say these are not decisions taken lightly. We're providing comprehensive support for our colleagues who believe in Ubisoft during this transition. We also want to share our most gratitude and respect for their many contributions to the company. This restructure does not affect our production teams. No shock. I'm not surprised by that. So this is 124 employees. Part of it's IT. I don't know that they didn't report the breakdown, but it's their IT teams and visual effects. So the layoffs in the game industry continue. So
yeah, I'd be curious to know how many of them were hired during pandemic, like if that's correlated, because you know how they hired a bunch of people. I mean, the gaming industry was going crazy, booming, and people working from home. And then after that, they started laying off the extra help. So I'm just curious if that's correlated in some way.
But Eric, I was told that when PlayStation did layoffs, that was just because Jim Ryan was a failure, not because of overhiring during the pandemic.
And Sony's in trouble, doom and gloom. Yeah, I remember.
Oh, and they're proof that they're pivoting away from gas. Not gas you put in your car, but games as a service.
Oh yeah, this is a pony podcast, huh? Let me click clack up in here. I forgot. Like, I'm on BRAP.
No.
You're right. Yeah, they were going after Sony. What's up with that? That's not fair. Leave Jim Ryan alone.
We are not a pony podcast, but we do like to discuss some of the
I'm kidding.
Crazy narratives that we see out of there that aren't grounded in any reality. We call it fan fiction. You know, but yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, like every industry seems to be hit by layoffs. I mean, we know about Microsoft laying off 10,000 people. Apple actually Apple hasn't gone through layoffs, have they? I don't think they have.
Correct, because we have data, right, and they've been on record as saying Apple followed a radically different approach to hiring in the pandemic and the post-pandemic time, and they deliberately kept themselves from overhiring so that they wouldn't have to go through this. And that approach has proven out to be successful.
Yeah. And then I'm laughing at the click clack.
Got to credit Slow Mo for that. Slow Mo is the one that started that.
Click clack, yeah. T-Rock with
Oh, T-Rock's the biggest pony. Of course, he's here.
T-Rock is super pony.
Yeah, we tease him.
Yeah. By the way, but no, it's just I like in reading that last line about we don't take these decisions lightly and providing. I mean, like that's kind of been my life for the since last March, and going through that at the company I work for, and it's and then being part of that support system to these individuals have been impacted. I was part of that too. It sucks. I'm over it. I'm just over it. I'm hoping things kind of stabilize a little bit more and we don't see these layoffs, but I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if we see more in the industry. So it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. Definitely unfortunate, but again, it's just one of those things. I mean, it's happening everywhere, and it's just the time we're in right now, and it sucks. Hopefully everybody gets back on their feet.
Yeah, it's
find something else. Mm-hmm.
It's Jim Ryan's fault.
Yeah, I mean, him or Phil Spencer, one of the two.
Yeah,
probably both.
It's probably. Why don't we just say it's
probably both?
There we go. You know what? It's Lion Ryan's fault, and it's Phil Ness's fault. As I forget who calls him that. I forget who calls him that.
I think Jez.
Jez calls him that. Yeah.
Jez. Yeah.
Yeah. As he refers himself to real Jez. But yeah. All right. I do want to move on to another story here with, by the way, this is, I should have mentioned this is the news section. You haven't been here in a while, Cuts. We do like news stuff too. So this is the news part of the podcast. All right. Speaking of Nintendo, we talked about Nintendo earlier. Nintendo is raising their profit forecast to $2.8 billion as Zelda shifts close to 20 million units. I mean, Nintendo... Did you guys see that Mario Kart has sold like 50 something million copies or something? I have to go back and pull up the number.
It's insane.
Hey, Brett, but I hate to do this. I do want to do one alibi on the last story, right? On unemployment, just to put things in perspective. So despite what's going on in the tech industry and in the gaming industry, right? Overall unemployment is down to 3.9%. So we're seeing a slight increase that, in comparison to just this calendar year. But back in April 2020, unemployment was up at 15%. So it is unemployment has cratered, right, in comparison to 3 years ago. It's on a slight rise, in this calendar year. But I think more so what we're seeing is not so much we're seeing a slough off in particular industries, right, that, like Erica said, overhired during the pandemic, and those people will need to transition, right, and transition to other industries. But the opportunities are out there. I've constantly talked about on this show, as much as we talk about problems, right, there are still millions of software engineering jobs that are unfilled, right? And I have Recs open, and other people in other industries have Recs open. So hopefully those people will land on their feet. As I've mentioned, particularly with game developers, as we had the discussion with Deli, right? Sometimes that means they may choose to do something else in a technical field that is not game development. But those are choices those people have to make on their own.
Yeah, that's a good. I mean, you aren't wrong. I mean, there's a lot of development jobs. I mean, even in the work that I do, Logic. I mean, like I'm seeing a lot of TA stuff come back now, which is kind of interesting because it means that companies are hiring. I actually even saw an opportunity, senior TA role, at Microsoft. Believe it or not, I was kind of surprised to see that. But no, that's actually a great point. I guess I don't want to sound doom and gloom, so I'm glad you brought that up. I'm also going to blame this on Sleepy Joe, by the way, Logic.
Well, he is at fault.
Jim Ryan, Phil Spencer, Sleepy Joe, they're all in cahoots.
Oh, and Lena Khan.
I had to think about it for a second. I'm like, Sleepy Joe. Because I'm thinking gaming. I'm thinking the industry. I'm like, who's that?
Who's Sleepy Joe? Oh.
Sleepy Joe. Oh, it took me a second.
Yeah. So, all right. So actually, the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sold another 3.2 I can't even talk, 3.2 million units in Nintendo's last quarterly release. And they bring this lifetime sales past 57 million.
That's wild.
How crazy is that?
Mario Kart 8. Yeah, I'm looking at the numbers. 57.01 million.
Like that is insane. Now, I do want to add that Nintendo did report hardware sales, software sales, units sold, hardware units sold. I should highlight and note that that's actually the old reporting model, apparently, for what I've been told. That's not the new way. That's the old way.
That's right. Console sales don't matter.
Yeah, console sales don't matter. It's all about MAU. So because we don't know Nintendo's MAU, we can assume that they're failing miserably. All right.
Well, they don't publish their games on other platforms, BRAP.
This is true. They don't. Well,
they're not on PC, BRAP. They're not on PC.
They look. If I had my way, everything would be on PC day and date.
If you have slow-mo, everything is on PC. You just have to go about it a different way.
I mean, technically, it is.
He's not wrong, but yeah. Oh man, I tell you.
That's wild though. These numbers. I'm looking at all the like Zelda, Pikmin, even Pikmin 4, 2.6 million, and Pikmin 4 is like I didn't even know it came out.
And
but it's selling, you know.
Doesn't the last Pikmin perform horribly on the Nintendo Switch?
Pikmin 4, yeah, it had some performance issues. Yeah, it had some performance issues.
So this goes back to like what you asked me right as I entered the podcast, which is are things falling down? So things aren't falling down in the industry, but again, going back to last Sunday night's episode of Enough to Keep Going,
right, part of the problem is you guys talked about.
Yeah, you see these games that are performing not good, performing great commercially. Games that are being thrown about in the conversation for Game of the Year, and they perform poorly on various platforms' hardware. And that, to me, is a problem in terms of a trend and where the baseline is in the industry.
I don't disagree. I mean, you guys talked about Jedi Fallen Order. That could be in the conversation for Game of the Year. Or not Fallen Order, I'm sorry. Jedi...
Survivor,
I'm sorry.
Survivor.
Yeah, thank you. And that had performance issues at launch.
That took 6 months to patch.
For how long?
6 months.
It took a while.
To get to a state where like people like Mooch were saying, I bought the game, but I'm not going to play the game until this gets fixed. Like that's a problem.
It's really bad. I dropped it because it was just bothering me too much. I was playing on PS5 and it was just not performing good. In the open areas, it was giving me a headache. I'm like, I can't play it like this.
Cuts.
I just haven't went back.
Cuts.
Sucks because I was really looking forward to it, but it ruins it. Ruins the experience.
Yeah, no, it does.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you know what, Cuts? You were just discussing some of the performance issues you were having with that game. I didn't have those issues. It just sounds like you're concern trolling to me.
Oh, you didn't. That's right. You didn't see any of the bugs.
Yeah,
so therefore,
therefore,
the people bringing them up are forcing them to happen.
It's a me problem. You say?
Yeah. Cuts.
Something wrong with your PlayStation.
Exactly.
You know what? Listen, people remember so many different things because I had somebody hit me up today, like they linked me to or tagged me on something about the patch for Spider-Man 2 that it's gonna fix bugs, right? Like, oh, what do you got to say about this, Erica? Are the bugs not real still? I guess they think I said the bugs never happened, which I never said that.
You never said that. And by the way,
it's literally in my review. Yeah. Like, it's there. Yeah. So I was like, it's in my review. He's like, well, I didn't see your review, but I saw your tweet. I'm like, what tweet? What are you even talking about? Anyways,
I'll say this, Cut. So one thing I appreciate about your review that I thought that you did very well was pointing out that, hey, I didn't experience a lot of bugs, but you recognize that others did. That others had bugs where the game froze. Now, I experienced maybe like 3 bugs
in Spider-Man.
And it wasn't anything that was like I was like, oh my god, this is like game breaking. It was like I think Miles got stuck in the air and he was like flashing or something, and then it went back to normal. I think the other one was like I saw an NPC like walking into the ground. And
they're more funny, I think, than anything. They're just kind of funny. I mean, as long as you're not losing your file or like having severe crashes over and over, I feel like you can kind of laugh at them. Like even in your chat, Moon, I think it said, or it's called, their name, it says, I had the cube bug in Spider-Man and that shit was fun, LMAO. So it's like, I would have fun with that too.
Yeah.
And I would record it and then post it and then, hey, there's views right there. So I actually kind of want to find bugs because then I can make, some content out of it or something. It doesn't bother me too much, but for others, it's I don't know. It's just something to use against the game.
Yeah, no, it is. They weaponize it.
Right.
But no, I don't disagree with you, Logic. Like it's a kind of a trend that I think all of us have, and we just, I think everyone on this panel would agree that we're seeing games releasing not in a good state at times. And it's funny, like when a game releases that performs well and doesn't have those bugs that are noticeable, we're all like, oh my god, this game, like it's almost like a treat, and it shouldn't be like that, in my opinion. Like,
right, it's become the exception instead of the norm. And as I talked about on our show Sunday night, right, the problem is that in my mind, again, it could be wrong. This could be baseline shift syndrome. In my mind, the norm used to be an expectation that a game came out and performed right at a certain level. Like the benchmark was higher. It was a rarity to have things like a Cyberpunk or a Redfall, right? But I feel like today, when a Cyberpunk or a Redfall happens, we kind of shrug our shoulder and go like, well, we expect some percentage of them to come out that way.
Yeah, we've been desensitized as consumers to that.
Yep, it's a good term.
Yeah, no, we really have.
That is true. Yeah. That could be what, that could be. Maybe even for me, when it comes to the bugs, I just kind of laugh at them like, eh. But what I don't laugh at is seriously the performance issues. Like I'd rather have a bug than performance issues. That's just me. Like the risk of a bug, I'd rather take that than a game that launches like Jedi Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
where it's just constantly dropping frames and just a headache to play and it hurts my eyes. Like I'd rather take the risk of a bug instead of that if I had to choose.
And I mean, the comment that I'll make on that, I suspect that the causality behind that is, again, part of this conversation was me talking about my experience in EA Sports' WRC, right? When I put that game away Saturday night, I actually went to bed feeling nauseous, right? Because the frame rate had gotten so clippy. There were so many moments like you're racing along in a rally racing game in excess of 70 miles per hour, right? And there's a hitch, a game freeze, long enough for you to consciously go, has the game crashed, right? And that's happening constantly, right? Yes. And that causes me to feel sick, right? And I mean, and part of the weird thing is when there's a bug and there's certain problems, I think you have a tendency to like just put the game down and put it away. But when there are the performance problems, like Eric is mentioning, I think you have a tendency to continue playing. And to be quite honest, I'll talk about myself. I continue playing. I continue to then get more and more and more pissed off, right? The longer that I play. And then by the time I'm done with it, right, then I go on some big, huge rant, right, for an hour, right, on a podcast. But yeah, it's those things are problems. And like I said, And I know people have commented before, oh, it's the norm. They put games out and then they fix them. And I get that has been a criteria of acceptance. But what I'm talking about is there's an inflection point going on this year where that is happening at volume and it's becoming the norm and people don't complain about it as much. EAWRC was getting 80s out of the gate. And I'm like, for every one of these reviewers that gave that game an 80, I want to see clips of your gameplay. Because there's no way that any rational human being should play that game and pop out of their mouth with a score in the 80s.
Jeez.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest problem because that's what we see mostly. That's what happened with Cyberpunk. Everybody gave it 9s and 10s, and then when people went to go play it, it didn't even work at all. You know what I mean? So I think, just having the reviews come out and say that, this is, one of the better games to release that year. And then when people actually get it and the performance is terrible and can't even play the game, I think that's unacceptable.
Right. Even when it came to Elden Ring, which got amazing scores, and I probably would have put it at like a 90 or 91, but I think the Metacritic was like 94, 95, 96, like up there. And it had performance issues, especially on PC.
I didn't
and I talked about them. Yeah, well, it's a me problem then.
Sounds like you're control again, Cuts.
But it definitely did, because From Software is known for that when it comes to PC. Like the ports just sometimes have issues, and I had to do some workarounds. And long story short, I myself said, the score was too high on Metacritic. They didn't talk enough about these issues. And then the same thing happened again with Lords of the Fallen. That's the most recent one.
Oh yeah,
where
that's right. Yeah.
These Souls creators were giving it high scores and saying it's better than Lies of P, and I'm just like, what? Like, where did you get that from? So it was very misleading for everyone else who started playing the game, and they had all these issues. And I was actually thanked by multiple people, like, for actually talking about the issues, because these other people didn't. So that's where the whole thing comes in, where people don't trust the media, they don't trust journalists, because they don't bring this stuff up. And it's like you guys said, it's acceptable now. It's like people just shrug, oh, it's the norm. And then you hear these excuses like, well, do you want to wait longer for these games, or don't you understand these games cost a lot of money to make and there's going to be bugs? It's like, that's no excuse. I've seen indie games on a low ass budget perform way better than this. So I don't know where they come up with that as an excuse. To me, that's not a good excuse.
Yeah.
So yeah, look, folks, sell your consoles, buy a PC, and put your trust and faith in the Steam community reviews, because they tell truth.
Steam reviews
they
are
speak on
the
it.
way. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And that.
Wait, you can't talk yet, Slow-Mo. You can't talk.
Why can't he talk?
I gotta give him a proper introduction first.
Oh, okay.
All right, so we have joining us Slow-Mo Backslap, aka King KD, aka Mr. Teabags, aka
Mr. Teabags.
I'm sorry. What's up, Slow-Mo?
What's up, man? No, glad to be here. It's been a long day, so it's good to just relax and talk about some games,
Hey, Slow-Mo, you sound a little low, man, on my end.
I do. Let me turn.
I don't know if you guys can hear me. Okay, give us a sound check in the chat, please. Thank you.
He sounds good to me.
Okay, maybe I don't know. Okay. I mean,
So if you feel a little low energy, look, I'm not one to often flex, particularly in front of the great Slow-Mo, but I will say, while you're logged into Twitter, go take a look at my Twitter account and take a look at that PC build, and you'll come back to the podcast feeling better.
I always love to see a good PC build. It gets me in trouble sometimes because I start thinking about buying stuff. But let me go take a look real quick. All right. But no, what you guys were saying about damn, what were you guys saying? I said, what did I say, Enrique? I said something.
I don't know.
Was like, no, you know what?
He cut you off for the intro, and you lost your train of thought.
I know, we're all old and can't remember things, so it'll come back to me. Ooh, look at that. That is nice. I like the red cabling.
I like the fans. All the fans of the casing.
Hey, that's America's PC. America.
Is that
Yeah,
an NZXT cooler? You got
that's an NZXT cooler mounted in the top. That is in a Lee case.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the the LED screen that you got on.
Oh yeah. Yep. On the
that's like the $300 one. I just because I almost bought that. I was just like, do I really want my temps right there on that? I was just like, let me not do it. But Logic got that wallet for it. So I respect it. Looks nice,
I don't know about all that. I'm actually following your one of your strategies in like spreading my, like I didn't buy all those parts at once, right? I bought like a couple parts at a time and just stuck them in the corner, and then when it was time to build, I went ahead and put the build together. That's also not entirely a new build. That's actually the build from last November, but I had to do a cooling system refit because I was having some temperature problems in the case.
Yeah. Those are like I think a lot of people should definitely like listen to what Elijah just said. It's also something I did this summer when I built my new PC. It wasn't all new stuff. I brought over my storage, I brought over my GPU, and because my GPU and my storage were good, and so it was just really there was no reason to replace those things. I needed a new PC because my CPU was getting a little long in the tooth, and you know how it is with Intel. If let it be one generation out, hey, you need to buy a whole new motherboard. So it's just like if you already need to do all those things, just go ahead. In my opinion, just go ahead and build a new PC. And so for me, I decided to do all that, and I even went a little outside my comfort zone. Didn't do an air cooler, did a liquid cooler. I think that was definitely the best decision. Yeah, PC. We could probably. I don't think anyone really want to hear us really get into this, but we can get into PC building talk. Like,
yeah, we'll be here 2 hours.
Right. So, but no, you guys were talking about Souls games, and I agreed with something what Erica said.
I was talking about Elden Ring because we were talking about games launching,
Broken.
with bad performance.
Oh, bad performance.
And the journalists, whoever reviews the games, they're not really mentioning it, in the reviews. So I brought up Elden Ring because I felt the scores were a little too high. Like, it's a great, amazing game. Don't get me wrong. I love Elden Ring. But at launch,
me too.
they weren't really mentioning the PC performance issues and stuff like that. So that's what I was saying.
Yeah, and they had a lot of little nagging issues that like modders fixed in like half a second. That was it. Steam reviews. That's what I was talking about.
Oh yeah, that we could rely on those more. That's what we were saying.
You can rely on those more because Steam actually checks the account of the people that leave the reviews, so you know how long they played the game. You could actually look at their profile, see how many achievements they have. It's not like Metacritic where any bozo just makes an account. Account is freaking Xbox Suxer, so you already know what he's about and what he's doing. Every Xbox game that comes out, he's giving it a 0 and saying Phil Spencer licks dog butts or something like that. And it's just like there's no purpose to this. These reviews are worthless, but on Steam, they're actually really good. And I actually do use Steam reviews to kind of, if I'm on the fence with a game, if I see something that looks interesting, but I never really heard the game, first thing I do is go to look at Steam reviews because I want to see what other people are saying. And usually, though, you can see like the rating mostly positive, or if it's mixed, I'm like, why is it mixed? And I see it, and then people are just like, the performance sucks. This is supposed to be a live service game, ain't nothing but bots in here. I'm like, oh. Good to know. Thank you. Let me move on. But Steam
what you were
down.
What you were saying, Slobo, about like the number of hours of gaming, they actually put that right in the review, so you can see. Yeah, you could read the review, see the person, and you can see how many hours they have in the game. Player asked a question: do they count people who refunds the game? They count them player, but it is noted in the review. So when you go to the review, you can actually see right there, product refunded. Right. It also indicates the people who got a review copy of the game, product reviewed for free.
Yeah,
so you have a lot more data.
Too.
Yeah, you have a lot more qualifying data right on the review, kind of posted right there in plain sight.
Yeah, Steam reviews, that's the way to go. I check them too whenever I'm kind of iffy, or just to get a consensus of like what are other people saying about this game. Are they kind of leaning towards what I'm thinking or not. That when I make videos and stuff, I like to kind of check them out too, just to see.
This is the way. So Black Dragon says in the chat, I don't want to be that guy, but I don't rely on reviews. I try the game for myself, blah, blah, blah. Like, and again, you know, if you've gamed for years, it shouldn't rely on reviews. So I don't want to be that guy either, but I'm going to lean into it. There is no one on this panel who has played the number of years of gaming that I have. I would question whether or not there's anybody in the chat who's played the number of games for the years that I have. My point is if what that should qualify you to do is the ability to filter and decide how you want to consume reviews of your own accord. You can choose whether to use them or not. I don't think that there's one rubric that says you should, consume reviews or you shouldn't. There's no binary perspective on it. It's all based on how you want to approach it. If you have the time and the money to play every single game that's out there and you don't want to trust anybody's reviews or rely on any reviews, then that's great. That's a great way for you to approach it. I don't personally have that time. I have a limited amount of time that I can play each week. I don't necessarily want to spend my money on every single game. I particularly don't want to spend my money on games that are broken and that are busted and that have really super low performance. Sometimes that still happens. But one of the things I do, for instance, I bought Forza Motorsport and I'm playing it. But as a person who discusses games and a person who plays games a lot, I'm still going to go look at the review to get that data point and to check that barometer and to see how the rest of the market is uptaking it. I think there's just a little... I don't agree with necessarily. I don't personally agree. Not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying I don't agree with it. I don't agree with the perspective that review scores are irrelevant and trends and data are irrelevant. Trends and data are actually super important and are actually tangible, objective, observable quantification of how things are doing and how the market is receiving a product.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
And with us
Also-
being on
Oh,
well, I was going to say, just us being
Go
on podcasts, and if you're like me, you make content. I mean, we like to look at things like reviews at times because we need that data for a talking point or to back up maybe what we're saying. So, it just depends. I know if they're just a gamer and they feel that way, that's cool. They don't want to look at reviews. That's totally fine. It, like you said, there's no one way of going about things. Everybody's different. But go ahead, Slomo.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I definitely, like, I barely look at reviews. So when it comes to actual, like, reviews from gaming sites where they got a review code ahead of time, like, none of that stuff bothers me. I don't care. Like, I've liked games that got a 69 Metacritic, and I played the hell out of them because I don't really care what other people have to say. When I brought up Steam reviews, when I talked about that, I'm talking about things that are like a tangible problem. I'm not asking for someone's opinion on whether the game mechanics are good. I'm asking, does the game work? What's going on? If it's a multiplayer game, what's going on in the world? Like, is the game crashing all the time? As I talked about with multiplayer, is it mostly bots in the game and it's not fun, or is it actually real people? Is it completely full of cheaters? This is information that you can get from the community that a quote unquote professional review either doesn't have the opportunity to do because they're reviewing the game before it gets a full community of people playing it, or they're told, hey, don't worry about that bug. We're going to fix that. That's going to be in the day 0 patch. And so they don't talk about it. So, like, those are the kind of things that, like, I'll look at a Steam review on something to know how good it is. Because when I say know how good the performance is, how good the stability of the game is, if I'm already interested in the game, I don't need to see someone's opinion on whether the thing is a good game or not, because I'm already going to buy it. At that point, I'm just kind of looking at, is there a red flag here that I might need to wait on the game, put it on my wish list, and check in on it later. So I think sometimes when we have these conversations that people, they come in, they listen to us have these conversations, and then they have their preconceived notions of what people who people are who listen to reviews, and they just kind of throw you in the same bucket,
Yeah, let me. I do want to get back to the Nintendo news story here, but those great points across the board about reviews. And game
we were
performance.
talking about Nintendo.
Yeah, and we're talking.
How did we get here?
I don't remember.
That's funny.
But these are the Nintendo financials. And again, this is using the old methodology of reporting information, the old way. It's not Mao. So this is for the first 6 months ending in September 30th, 2023 for Nintendo. Nintendo reported a 21.2% year-on-year increase in net sales to $5.3 billion and a 27% increase in operating profit to $1.9 billion. Here are the numbers. Net sales, I mentioned the $5.3 billion. Hardware units sold 6.84 million. It's up to 2.4%. And software units sold 97.1 million, up 1.8%. Nintendo also noted that the Super Mario Brothers movie in April had positive impact sales of the Mario-related titles. And we talked about Mario Kart 8 selling additional 3.22 million units, bringing that the lifetime sales for that particular game to 17 million. I still can't believe that. 17 million, that's insane. The Nintendo also said the Mario movie was also the biggest driver in Nintendo's mobile and IP-related business, which saw sales rise 133.3% year-on-year to $365.8 billion. Pikmin 4, which released in July, sold 2.61 million. Nintendo also reported that 16 Switch games sold more than 1 million units during the first half of its fiscal year, including third-party titles. This all led to that 2.4% increase in hardware sales. The OLED.
And BRAP,
Yep.
So that's, I mean, so in a quarter, a year or so roughly, before we know that the Nintendo Switch is being sunsetted, right, as the primary Nintendo platform, their hardware sales are actually up over a year ago when we didn't know that the thing was going to be sunsetted. It prints money meme. I don't know that it's ever been more appropriate for Nintendo.
Yeah, and this is usually at the point of a console life cycle, the tail end, where you start seeing the opposite. And they are just, I mean, yeah, you're right. They're literally printing money right now. The OLED model continues to be the biggest seller for them at 4.69 million units, followed by the standard model at 1.25 million, and the Lite is at 9 million units. So, one thing Nintendo also gave us some information on was, and this was updated today, that the Super Mario Brothers Wonder World, Super Mario Brothers Wonder game has sold 4.3 million units worldwide in the first 2 weeks of launch. Jesus.
Jeez. That's wild.
4.3 million units.
Mm-hmm.
That's I guess we can all agree that Nintendo's printing money right now.
Oh, definitely. They're always doing well. You know, when we talk about Sony and Microsoft, you know, the layoffs, we're just talking about it just today about, is it, what were we saying? Not doom and gloom, but you're saying something.
I said
forgot.
sometimes doom and gloom, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm tired. But yeah, but when it comes to Nintendo, we don't really have those conversations because they're just in their own world, doing their own thing, and they're just making money constantly.
Yeah. I mean, they're selling games. Now, I want to emphasize this is as I've been
And hardware.
And
they're
hardware.
also selling hardware.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're closing in on the Switch being the most sold console ever. They're probably about a good somewhere between like 9 to 12 million behind the PlayStation 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the top.
Yeah, PlayStation 2 was like 152 million. I think they said they were like they said they cleared 140, but we don't know exactly where they are. They cleared 140 in September, so they're probably, you know, a few million higher than that at this point.
Crazy.
But if you notice the statement that they said, which was hilarious to me, because like at this point, everyone that's a hardcore gamer that kind of pays attention to this stuff knows that they are going to drop a new Switch early next year or sometime next year. And they, of course, as any company would want to do, is just continuing to push the thought process that the Switch is going to be fully supported for years to come. not even really acknowledging any mindset or thought that like that there is another Switch out there or another piece of hardware out there that you may want to get, because they don't want people to stop buying a Nintendo Switch. So they don't want you to think, oh well, shoot, I'll just wait until this other one comes out next year. So they're just going to pretend like, we're not going to shadow announce this hardware through some interviews or through a press statement. No, we're going to do it officially the way we want to do it when we're ready to take that hit that's going to eventually come to our current hardware sales, which, I mean, they've been kind of on the downside compared to their previous years anyway, but they're still selling at an incredibly high clip. But that can all just drop dramatically if it's a well-known thing that, hey, they're dropping new hardware next year. So you probably don't want to go buy a Switch OLED for $300 right now. Just probably wouldn't be a good investment if you want the latest and greatest. So
makes sense.
The Super Mario Brothers Wonder title is the fastest selling Super Mario related title since the Wii and DS era, when Nintendo's tracking began, according to the report by GameIndustry.biz. So
so this is faster selling than Odyssey? Mario Odyssey?
That's what it's saying, yeah. That's what it's saying.
Wow.
Now, again, I just want to emphasize, this is based on the old reporting model, as I've been told. This is the old reporting model.
So did you mention that they increased their profit forecast to $2.8 billion?
They did, yes.
Okay.
As a result, yeah.
So again, so what they're projecting is that as they turn the corner through the holiday season into the start of calendar year 24, that going into the, again, as far as we understand and would normally believe, going into the final year of production of the Nintendo Switch, right, which as such is at its most profitable, right, has the highest margin as they're selling hardware, and therefore they're raising their profit forecast from what they predicted at the beginning of the fiscal year.
Yep. But, again, this is the old way, so don't put too much thought into it. So no one got that, but that's all right.
I was reading chat. Sorry, I was reading chat.
Yeah. All right. So that's Nintendo news. We have some big news for Rockstar. We're going to see the first trailer of GTA 6. It's been 10 years, Cots, 10 years since release of GTA 5, and we said this earlier before we went live. People, I saw it on Twitter. People were showing their pictures of what they looked like 10 years ago when GTA 5 released and what they look like now. Cuts, we saw your picture. You look the same.
Sure does, actually. Like I was just right? Like, wait a minute.
These are a little older.
No, Cuts, you don't. Cuts,
no, you don't look a day older. You're a vampire. Or what's another immortal supernatural being or whatever that is? You're one of them. Are they
a lichen?
The lichens aren't immortal.
I don't know. And they turn to werewolves.
Vampire, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not immortal, man.
That's right. They're not. But neither
on my nerd. Actually,
no, I think lichens are.
Lichens, they're not immortal. Okay,
I think they are. They are immortal unless they get killed. Unless you hit them with like silver bullets or something, whatever it is. I forget what it is.
I'm kind of wishing I would have chose another picture, because I was looking through my pictures, right, and there was another one where I looked maybe 100 pounds, like super skinny. Maybe I should have put that one up.
Yeah, you probably should put that one. Yeah,
and then you guys would probably be like, "Oh, okay, yeah."
Yeah, actually,
she put a little weight on.
Yeah, she gained some lbs. Ramon, our good buddy Ramon says slow-mo lycanthropes are immortal. Thank you. See,
there we go. Mr. Fiction writer over here. Yeah. This Mr. Fantasy writer over here has to go. Okay, fine. If he says this must be true then.
Yeah, he would know. He would know.
He would definitely know.
He would definitely know. Yeah. So GTA 6. Rockstar said they're going to show the first trailer of the much anticipated GTA 6. Early December, which leads me to believe it's going to be at the Keeleys.
I was thinking that too.
Or the Game Awards show. Oh, B says no. Okay, go ahead, B. I'm sorry.
I don't think so.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I think if Jeff would have had this would have been like something he would have been hyping.
You think he would have made the
And-
announcement like, "Hey, I'm going to have it"?
Yeah, and Rockstar fashion,
Mhm.
this is just gonna come on some random day in early December,
Mhm.
and it's gonna break the internet. It's
Yeah.
it's not
They
gonna be
could
tied
do
to
that.
the Game Awards. Yeah,
Rockstar could
Look
definitely
how
do
many
that, and
people-
they've done it
they
before.
had 1 million likes within like an hour or two.
Yeah.
Them just tweeting that they're gonna announce or have a trailer for GTA 6 next month. So they can drop it on December 2nd, and people are gonna lose their mind. They don't need the Game Awards for this.
Yeah, that's what I was. Because at first I did tweet that, like, oh, this could be at the Game Awards, because Jeff Keighley tweeted right after the Jason Schreier leak or whatever kind of went out there, and he said, "Oh, reminder, Game Awards are in 30 days or something like that." So I was like, "Oh, okay, Jeff Keighley's trying to tell us something." But then I realized, I'm like, no, this is Rockstar. Like, they could just drop the trailer. They don't need the Game Awards. So you're right on that. I feel like, yeah, they're probably just gonna drop it. Probably at a random time too, like 4 p.m. in the afternoon or something.
Mhm.
And it'll
Yeah.
do numbers. It'll do crazy numbers as far as like the views and all that. It'll be insane.
That game is going to sell. I'm going to go on the fence here and predict that game will sell gangbusters whenever it releases.
Oh, of course.
You know.
That's an easy bet.
Was it the rumor? You know, there's some rumors swirling about that the game may take place in Vice City.
Yeah. The word is it's going to take place in Vice City, aka Miami, which is pretty cool. I think if they this game is going to sell so much, it's ridiculous. Like, imagine if they did pre-orders as soon as they did an announcement, which they won't do, but if they did, like, it would just be bonkers. The fact this game has been in development, well, kind of like a skeleton crew development until Red Dead 2 came out, because the way Rockstar restructured everything, the reason why you don't see games like Bully anymore from Rockstar is that all of their studios all just make one game now, for the most part. And then they'll have like a skeleton crew kind of like, you know, in pre-production on their next game. And then once that game they were working on goes gold, they just shift the entire global number of studios they have over to their next project. So however much this game costs to develop, which is probably in numbers that we haven't really seen from like other games, even other big, huge AAA games, they're going to like make up their money in like a matter of days when this comes out. Like, this GTA just transcends the overall gaming community. Like, people who aren't gamers talk about this game. And so when this game comes out, it's just going to be people, even people who used to play, you know, GTA 3 back in the day and stuff like that, are going to, hey, what's the new PlayStation or the new Xbox? I'm just going to grab something and play GTA. Your GTA's out. It's just, it's the way things are. It's one of those games that by the name alone, it's just going to sell.
Yeah, no,
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to see what it looks like, see what innovative things Rockstar has come up with. Hopefully, because they've lost a few people. But
well, who on the panel played GTA 3? Just because you just brought that up, Slomo.
I mean, yeah, I did back in the day. It was a long time ago. I played a lot of GTA 5, GTA Online. Like, I think
I
like
tried
back in
online.
2013.
I tried online, and then I was driving around, and we backed to an alleyway, and some guy was getting it all with the prostitute. I was like, I got to get out. I'm not doing this. I'm like, no. Yeah.
I had so many cars. I had so many apartments, condos, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, I had a condo and a car, and yeah.
Yeah, that, like, me and my friends used to just play that like all day, like that. It was, man.
I heard your name was King KD in the game. Is that true?
I don't know about that, man. No, I was too busy trying to get away from all the hackers who were coming in with their hackers on consoles, like that never happens, right? Anyway,
only on PC, from what I've been told.
only on PC, right? Like you just how like you will log in, it took you like 5 minutes to get into the game, right?
Yeah,
it took forever to log in, right?
Yep.
And then you get in, and then immediately all you hear is a tank just blowing people in their cars up, and I'm just like, oh, come on, man! I'm just like, I just got here, and some dickheads just riding around in a tank blowing everyone up, and it's just like, dude, you have to pay for my car, you know that, right? Like you blow me and my car up, you have to pay for my car so I can get my car back, and they don't care. They got like unlimited money or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
just remember GTA 3,
the
the main protagonist he actually didn't have a voice in that game.
Oh yeah, but I mean, back then.
Everyone else did. Everyone else did except for him, yeah. But everyone else had a voice in that game except for him, which was kind of interesting.
T-Rock, you're sickly knees.
Oh man,
my name is
knees,
sickly knees. That's crazy.
Oh man.
How did that start? Did Luca start that? Who started that?
Yeah, who started the thing with your knees, Slow-Mo? Like I've never.
It was Luca. Luca exaggerating things as usual, right? So like, she called me. I was leaving work. She called me, and I was like, "Yo, the craziest thing just happened," and I was leaving work, and I'm in the parking lot, and I wasn't paying attention, and I walked off the curb, and I nearly, like, my knee nearly buckled because I literally wasn't paying attention, and I walked off the curb, and I stepped into the off the sidewalk to the actual like concrete parking lot, and I was looking at my phone. That was my fault, but I wasn't paying attention. I almost fell. And so I'm laughing about it. And she literally goes, "Oh, I'm going to talk about this on Scumcast." And I'm just like, for what? What are you talking about? I'm like, whatever. So then the very next day, because I was a Friday, the very next day, she's like, "Guys, let me tell you, Slow-Mo, his entire knee just buckled. And he's like, all his ligaments broke. And he just off a curb." And it's just like, you were really exaggerating this. But the entire thing is like,
pretty funny.
Everybody just believes everything that Luca says. She's a little demon. She's a little gnome demon that just lies. And then she just sends me laughing emojis, giggling about it afterwards after she tells all these lies. It's fine though.
That's funny, man.
But it's been a running joke ever since then. So
it must have been a slow like news week that week or something.
Exactly.
Like, I'm going to talk about this. I got a topic now.
Yeah, exactly.
That's too funny.
Yeah, so I will say GTA 6 is probably going to be day one for me. Probably will be my game of the year. And no, Logic, it's never too early to talk about game of the year contenders.
In 2026.
Yes.
Right. You got me.
Yes, exactly.
2027.
Exactly. Yeah.
How old are you be then, BRAP? Like, we going to be in our 50s? How old are we going to be?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what. I will be 50 in 2027. Believe it or not. So.
Oh snap! Yeah, that's gonna be your game of the year when you turn 50.
That's it. Yeah.
Golden year.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yep. That's it. So, speaking of game of the year. We, our good buddy is going to go live on Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Jeff Keighley will announce the nominees for the annual Game Awards show. And so, Monday's going to be interesting.
It's going to be drama.
Monday's, and I made this tweet, I got to pull this tweet up that I made. It got people upset. Let me find this tweet real quick.
Was it about Starfield?
No, I didn't say anything about Starfield. I said next Monday should be interesting with the VGA nominees being announced. We'll see adults upset the VGAs didn't validate their feelings. We'll probably see 50-year-old men proclaim that the award show is biased and corrupt. People got upset that I said that. I'm not wrong. That's actually
you're not wrong.
That actually has happened. Am I wrong? I mean, Cuts, no. B-Money, Logic. I mean, Slow-Mo, right? I mean, we all have seen this. We've all bared witness to people getting upset over the nominees for Game of the Year, primarily Game of the Year category. And it's like, I don't understand why you shouldn't. Like, look, I totally understand someone saying, look, based on my experiences, like my gaming experiences, those games or this particular game that I've played I wouldn't make it a Game of the Year nominee based on my experience, and leave it at that. Or I could totally understand the perspective of, well, based on the critical reception, this general consensus amongst reviewers, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I could see that. I could see those games as being, why they have been nominated for Game of the Year. But what I don't understand is the conspiracy theory shit that we see when people start saying Keighley's on the take, he's Sony biased, it's corrupt. I mean, Jeff Keighley literally every year has to provide a link to people who are going off the deep end, and these are adults, by the way, that are crying conspiracy theories that this show is rigged, and he provides them a link that explains how the process works. People also seem to not understand that they are prominent figures in the industry that sit on the board, Phil Spencer being one of them, Bobby Kotick, the CEO of EA. Mm-hmm. I think Sony at one point sat on the board. I don't think they do now. Nintendo might be there too, but I'd have to go back and look.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Yeah. So
and diverse, from different areas. Yeah.
Exactly, Cuts. And so Monday is going to be interesting, to say the least. But that begs the question, like, and I know the title of the show says, will Starfield be snubbed at the Game Awards? And someone said, well, maybe another game is snubbed. And I'm like, yeah, that could happen. Absolutely. And
something's going to be snubbed. I mean, there's going to be something. There's too many games.
Yeah, and I'm kind of picking on Starfield here because I've seen people say this is the game of the gen. I'm like, if you're saying that
yikes.
Yeah, I'm going to question if you play games. I think Starfield's I like Starfield. I don't think it's a great game. I think it's an okay game. It's not on my list of Game of the Year games. And I look, as Ryan Landis has dubbed me, AAA BRAP, so it's not BRAP, it's BRAAAP.
Oh,
you like that, huh?
Okay, that's a good one.
I have played all the bangers this year. The Baldur's Gate 3s, the Tears of the Kingdom, the Final Fantasy 16s, the Starfields, the Spider-Man 2s, So, but I want to go to you, Cuts. Like, what are your personal Game of the Year so far? And what do you think, what games do you think will be nominated for Game of the Year at the award show?
Oh, that's a tough question. So I just finished Spider-Man 2. You saw my review. I'm really high on that game. I really love that game. And for a second, I was like, this could be my Game of the Year, But then a couple days go by, and I'm such a Souls simp. I'm like, let me think about this more. Because I really loved Lies of P. I really loved Remnant 2. It's very underrated, overlooked. Like, everybody's going to be like, Remnant 2. But for me, like, I really, really loved that game. And it's just been so packed this year. And I feel like, man, there just wasn't enough time. I wish I could have played more because I did play Hogwarts, but I didn't beat it. I didn't have time. I was playing other things. Tears of the Kingdom, same thing. Didn't beat it. And now I'm on Mario Wonder, and I'm gonna, hopefully beat that. I should beat it probably by this weekend or the next weekend. And I'm like thinking, how am I gonna fit these games in so I could have like this educated answer? Because I just didn't have enough time to play a bunch of games, and I wish I did. But as it stands, it's like I think I'm gonna go with. I don't know. I honestly, I really loved Lies of P and Remnant. I think it comes down to those two for me. And Spider-Man, it's like is in there too. There's other games too, but it's like those two just really stood out to me. But see, I'm different. I focus on Souls games. That's what I do. That's what I play. And so I have like a different I don't know, relationship with these games, I guess. It just, I get so into the Souls games, so I'm very different. I'm sure I'm going to have different answers from everybody else, but yeah, that's kind of where I stand right now. But as far as like the nominees, I need to get my list together because I know for sure Baldur's Gate 3 is going to be in there. I know for sure Spider-Man's going to be in there. Tears of the Kingdom. I mean, those three I think are for sure. Other than that, you know, I'm sure we're going to talk about Starfield, but it's weird. I could see Starfield being in there, but then I could see it not being in there. So that's another thing.
It needs to be their cuts, or else Monday's
it's going to be crazy. Yeah, if it's not in there. Yeah, and I kind of feel
bang, bang.
like I'm leaning towards it. I'm leaning towards it being in there just because it should be, as far as like making it more full of diversity and having an Xbox game in there, but I don't know. And then here's the thing though, if it does get in, let's just say it is in there. The conspiracy thing probably won't be a thing, but it's going to be the opposite. It's going to be like, oh, the conspiracy of they put it in there just because they wanted to avoid the outrage. You know what I mean? Like they just stuck it in there. So
I mean, I personally think that's accurate. Sides. I mean, if it gets in, I feel like it's a consolation prize meant to balance the board, but for platforms.
Right, and that's where honestly, I'm kind of leaning too. It could.
I think outside of Baldur's Gate 3 and Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, all of them are consolation prizes. Like, look, this every year we see a nominee that gets in. Like, I don't think this is going to happen this year, but your token indie. I don't think they have space for a token indie this year, but we've seen token indies get in, and you know you're not winning. You know you're not winning, but your prize for having the best indie game to come out this year. It Takes Two was published by EA. I mean, it's
and that year was
studio,
very different.
But that's the EA published game. Well, I mean, like indie. I'm talking about like Hades. I'm talking like the year that Celeste got nominated. Like those are those indies. They don't have a shot. But it makes them look more credible to put one of them in there to show, hey, you know, we're not just a AAA machine, a AAA loving bastards over here. We like some indie trash every now and then. See, we can be different. We can be the Sundance Festival of gaming. We can do that. You know. Yeah, all right, but you know, Celeste and Hades didn't have a shot on winning, even though I in my opinion, Hades was better than a lot of the games that came out that year. But I don't think we'll see one of those this year. But my whole point of bringing it up was every year we know there's like two
like a
front runners. Yeah, that like there's two main ones that are really the ones that are going to win. And everyone else is just there to hey, we recognize you were really good this year. Slow clap. Great job. All right. Anyway, back to God of War Ragnarok and Elden Ring.
Yeah, because it was between those two.
Yeah, because everyone else was a freaking afterthought. You're not winning. You're not better. You're not beating these two. But thank you for being here. Thanks for having a cool game I enjoyed for a few weeks. Anyway, Elden Ring. Right, like that's how it is, though. Go ahead, man.
The reason I pitch it, I feel like it's going to unfold a little differently this year, is because, unlike in past years, I don't personally feel that 4 games that I expect to get into the nominees are just like that. There's like a football field's worth of daylight between them and the next runner. Like I don't feel like we have two. What's the plural of Colossus? Is it Colossus or Colossi? I don't feel like we have two.
I think you got it right. The Colossi.
You know, we don't have two Colossi like we had right with Elden Ring and God of War Ragnarok.
Hey, stop with the word salad, man.
Yeah. So you know, Baldur's Gate 3, Tears of the Kingdom, Super Mario Brothers Wonder, Spider-Man 2, Alan Wake 2. Right, and I agree with you. Sea of Stars probably doesn't have a chance, although I expect it to get in the nominations. Although Slay the Princess, I actually think might be the stronger game, but but because of how short it is, I don't expect that it'll get into the nomination. But at any rate, go ahead. Slay the Princess.
I've heard about that game, but I haven't played. I heard it was good though. Someone, I've seen a few people talk about it, but this is you see that one indie game that's a flat out amazing. It's an awesome game. And I actually kind of feel like the reason why they even include them in the game of the year discussion is to kind of raise the profile of that developer, to kind of say, hey, look at these guys. We have them on stage with Rockstar and Naughty Dog and Insomniac and whoever the heck else is up there from software. Look at that developer. Look at Supergiant Games. They're great. Check their games out. And I think it works because the next time they drop a game, people actually pay attention. But you're not winning though. You're not this is your moment, when the camera pans to you, when they're announcing the games, that's your moment to look at everyone and smile. Because you're not getting up and going up on that stage. It's not your time. With Starfield, I think Starfield was a fun game, and I beat it, and I've said this so many times, and some people can't accept how I feel about it, but I hate Bethesda RPGs, but this was the one Bethesda RPG I could actually enjoy. So I guess that's kind of like good, right? Mm-hmm. I think there's nothing wrong with a game having like a Metacritic score of 83 and being nominated for Game of the Year, because we saw that with Ghost of Tsushima as well. We've seen other Control was like 83 as well. So we've seen games with like that quote unquote low of a Metacritic score get in. But this year is just different. And if it does get nominated or it doesn't, either way, I'm going to be here for the with popcorn and enjoying the fireworks on Twitter. But
it's going to be wild.
Yeah, I just don't see the big deal about it, because even if it gets nominated, it's not going to win. It's not going to win. It's nothing. It's like when your football team makes the playoffs and people are like, yeah, we made the playoffs. You're going to lose in the wild card. Your team sucks. Like, why do you care? You're not going to the Super Bowl, bro. Like, the Chiefs are about to curb stomp you by 40. You all you did was worsen your draft order. Like, why do you care, man? Like, it's just like, stop caring about this stuff. It's just like, if you enjoyed the game, awesome. My favorite game this year won't even get a single nomination. It's called Showgunners. It's like a XCOM kind of game. Freaking awesome. I love the game. It's my favorite game I played this year. No one knows what it is. I hit up the CEO of the company. I was like, hey, you want to come on DPS to do an interview? He's like, hell yeah, thank you. I'm not trying to shout them down. I love those guys. They're awesome. But like, yeah, he wants some publicity for his game. They made a great game that just got drowned out in a sea of Steam because it's only on PCs, only on Steam, and like no one else knows about it. But like, that's just the nature of things. I don't care that no one knows what Showgunners is. It's an awesome ass game. And if you are forced enough to play it, you'll see it too. But other than that, I know it's not getting nominated for shit. You just gotta get over that stuff, man.
And I think some of the things you said is I think one of my reasons why I think Starfield won't get in, because that is the game that I feel like if it gets into that round of 6, there is like a broad, right, a long length of daylight between it and the other contenders other than Sea of Stars, and people will be like, they'll be looking at their list and they're like, if I put Starfield in, right, it's just wasting a pick, right? Whereas I look at, like I said, Baldur's Gate 3, Tears of the King, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Spider-Man 2, Alan Wake 2. I feel like there's a story there and an argument to be had across any of those games. I know we think highly of Baldur's Gate 3, but I'm gonna say this and then slowly let me get through the rest of the list, but then definitely have your say. As I keep saying, and I say this with the highest of regard, we have played Baldur's Gate 3 before. It's called Divinity Original Sin 2.
True.
It's just that now it's Divinity Original Sin 2 with the D&D license.
Yeah.
So Baldur's Gate 3 does a lot of great stuff, but it looks good, but then when you stack it next to Spider-Man 2, and this is somewhat of a guess, and I'm gonna say Alan Wake 2, and you look at graphical fidelity and performance. There's an argument in those two games on that, it is doing something better than what Baldur's Gate 3 does. Tears of the Kingdom, I mean, it's Zelda. It has the creativity in it. It has the Nintendo swagger to it. It pivots a little bit, slightly away from just overly repeating the formula of Breath of the Wild, and delivered an experience that a lot of people were looking forward to, but I couldn't say entirely everybody expected, right, what it was going to be. And Super Mario Brothers Wonder is just kind of excellence in execution, right, and kind of blending the best of Nintendo creativity on maybe a formula that they've done before, but I would contend, in a partially unique way. I feel like amongst those 5 games, again, there's a strident argument to be had, right, about I don't think one of them walks away with Game of the Year in that field of 5.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna go to B, get his thoughts on who he thinks the nominees might be, and what his Game of the Year, what his personal Game of the Year is.
I mean, for me, I think for some of the reasons you got mentioned before, I think Sea of Stars is going to get nominated, just because they have to have that lowly indie game in there amongst all the big boys. So I think that game is actually still going to get nominated, and I think either Mario or Zelda is going to be out of the conversation. I don't think both of them will be there. I think Starfield will be there as a consolation prize. Spider-Man will be there, and they'll have a representative from Nintendo. I mean,
you got
having Alan Wake.
I don't know if anyone else heard that. You got kind of garbled there for a second. B, can you say that last sentence again?
Yeah, I think there'll be. Yeah, there'll be a representative from each platform. And I think Sea of Stars will be there. I don't think. I haven't played Alan Wake. I know it's got these great reviews or whatever, but from all the chat that I see about it, most people aren't really enjoying the game. So I mean, it could get nominated just because
you having sleep problems, bro.
I mean, it seems like everybody else is.
I'm saying, I'm just wondering, like, if it, if you having sleep issues, this might be the cure for you. This might work out for you.
Oh, come on, Slow-Mo.
that game seems so divisive, though. Alan Wake.
It's so boring. It's so boring.
I either hear it's amazing or it's boring, and they don't even want to play it anymore. It's like no in between. I feel it's like one or the other.
It's very polarizing. And look, and I like Remedy. I thoroughly enjoy Control, and I like Quantum Break. A lot of people give it crap for the TV show that's kind of mixed into it, and that boss fight was Basura. But like, no, I really enjoy Quantum Break, but Alan Wake 2 is the first chapter. I shot my gun 2 times at one enemy, and that's it. And I know some people be like, oh, you're just a pew pew, unga bunga head Slow-Mo. And I'm like, look, I like Disco Elysium. I like Pentiment. I like Telltale games. I like games where it's not just shooting everything that walks. But you got to keep me excited and interested. And there's just so much more that the games that don't focus on that solely do in the beginning that kind of allow you to really stay really fully engaged. And I just wasn't really fully engaged. Now, I did do a second stream. Was that last night?
God, yeah, it was last night. It was last night.
Yeah. Look. I feel like I just woke up or something.
I had to go to sleep.
You're asleep.
But no. The second part of me in chapter 2 and 3 did get better. But and so like I was like, there was more enemies, there's more danger, there was more suspense going on. But the boss fight was terrible. It was a terrible boss fight. I don't know what people really. I haven't seen why this is like so amazing. I do understand this will be a part of the Game of the Year conversation based upon how a lot of the people who we know are going to be voting on this have spoken about the game. That's it for me. I wouldn't put this anywhere. It's not on my Game of the Year anywhere. You know,
So there's been a lot of survival horror this year. You know, so you guys who run around yapping about this being the greatest year in gaming, I feel it's like it's the greatest year of rinse, wash, and repeat. But we'll move on. So
man, whoa.
So we've had Alan Wake 2, the Dead Space remake, and the Resident Evil 4 remake. So between those three and anything that I'm missing, I mean, what has been and you guys are all survival horror fans. I hate
survival horror actually.
Oh, really? Okay, good. I mean, survival horror could drop off the face of the earth and it wouldn't bother me at all. I mean, so of you guys who have played all those games and anything else, I mean, what has been the best survival horror game this year?
I think Dead Space. I think Dead Space would. Go ahead, Enrique.
No, I was just saying,
you're more into that game.
Yeah, I would say Dead Space. I mean, like Resident Evil, the remake, Resident Evil, what's it called? 2? Was it 2?
It was 4. It was 4.
4. I'm sorry, 4. Was really good, but Dead Space. There's something about Dead Space and playing on my PC, and that's probably the tops for me. I haven't played Alan Wake 2. I haven't played Alan Wake 2 yet, so I can't comment on that. But definitely the Dead Space remake. It was well done too. Like it was a really good remake.
It's so crazy because I almost forget about that game. There's just so many. Like in the chat, I'm reading. They're bringing up Hogwarts. I don't know how we all feel about that, but that's another game that could.
I didn't play.
I love that game. I thought it was awesome.
That's another. There's always something. There's always something we can bring in, and then there's Final Fantasy as well. I mean, there's just so many games.
Go ahead, B.
For me, I think Hogwarts had a bigger impact, than definitely. A lot of the games on the list. It's like one of the highest selling games of the year.
Sold like crazy.
Yeah.
It is the highest selling game of the year as of this moment. It sold the most out of everything so far. But yeah, you're right.
To me, I think that kind of warrants a nomination. It's got the most, players on it. It's got the most eyes on it. It came out of nowhere from a studio that people really didn't expect much from, and it was really good. So, to me, I would swap out Alan Wake 2 for Hogwarts. I know it's surrounded by a lot of controversy and whatnot, but if
that's exactly why I won't.
That's what I'm thinking.
We're gonna talk about game of the year. Let's put it all on the table. Why we gotta have all this political nonsense around it?
Right. If it's not in there, that's probably why. I mean,
Well, here's my question. Well, here's my question on whether it should be in there or not. And I'm glad you used the term impact. Because my question is when we talk about as many people played it as they have. What are people saying that Hogwarts does better than any other game? Because that is a thread of conversation I have not seen. People talk about how much they love it. People like it. And I know there's a lot of Potterheads running around, which I attribute a lot of the volume around that game to. What I haven't seen is this game does it, because all of the other games that we've talked about in this Game of the Year conversation. I'll take Alan Wake 2 off the table for now, but most of them have something that I have seen people have commentary on about how it does a thing better that they want to see other games do, or how it does a thing better that they want to see like the next game that studio does. But I haven't seen that around Hogwarts.
I could tackle that. It doesn't really do anything bad, and I think that's good for it, because like there's some other games that we can point to say they really got a weakness here. And there's nothing really bad in Hogwarts Legacy, but to your question of what does it do better than anything else that comes out this year, I think Portkey Games, the studio that made it, really captured the essence of Harry Potter with this game. If you traveling in the Hogwarts, the actual castle, the school, Like it literally looks like the game, like not the game, sorry, the movie, with how much like paintings on the wall are like coming to life. There are ghosts flying around and causing pranks. There are suits of armor having arguments and fighting each other. It's literally every hallway you go into, there is everything that you see that is captured in the multitude of movies of that IP, all centered there. And I don't think any other game that's come out this year that there has been a game that has captured the essence of what the actual IP is about more than they did with that game. Like not Jedi Survivor with Star Wars, not no one else. And I know that's kind of like a licensed thing, like a licensed IP thing, but I think they really understood what Potter fans wanted from a Harry Potter game, and they nailed that.
So
Yes,
Slow-mo,
yes,
there's
more than Spider-Man, Aries. Yes, more than Spider-Man.
So I'm gonna ask you that question again, and I'm gonna ask you that question because I was gonna mention, Slow-mo, there's this little game called Spider-Man 2 that came out. I'm gonna ask you to consider that question, taking your Mary Jane Watson slander off the table.
Right. What like
Same question?
that's the same question?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
still, I think Hogwarts Legacy nailed and captured the Harry Potter universe still more than Insomniac did with Spider-Man. Now, and that's not a negative despite, because people always have this thing where if you say something and you say something did something better than something else, that something else must be garbage. And it's just like, no. Insomniac absolutely did a great job with Spider-Man. And I know there are people who don't care for the portrayal of Peter. They don't care for Mary Jane. And then you got the racists out there that are out there saying Miles Morales can't be Spider-Man. Forget all that nonsense. Insomniac did a great job with Spider-Man 2. I think it's the best story that they've done within their 3 Spider-Man games. That said, I think Portkey Games did more with the Hogwarts game. Like that whole storyline with the Slytherin kid and what he's going through, and just kind of going deeper into, you see where he had good intentions and then he gets worse and worse and worse, and how he's getting kind of corrupted by his desire to save his sister, kind of brings him down this dark path where he is willing to take lives to get what he wants. And it's just extremely, extremely well done. And not to mention, like, as I said, everything else about that game is good. Like the combat is good. The visuals are very, very good. It doesn't do anything bad, and so it's just like, it's that kind of game is like if this game was straight doo-doo chunks, it wouldn't sold the way it has. Absolutely. People, there are Harry Potter fans out there that just like, I'm buying it regardless, but there are people who was just like, yeah, I heard this game's actually pretty good. And they bought it and played it. Like I beat the game twice. I beat it as a Slytherin and I beat it as a Ravenclaw. And even though, and then in that you live in different areas of the castle if you choose like whichever house that you're in. It doesn't have too much of influence on the story. You will have, you still have your side plots of side characters that you can go through the entire quest line. They're all from different houses, but you do kind of get some dialogues that are more focused towards the house that you're supposed to be in. But it's just a really excellent game. This is absolutely deserving of being in the Game of the Year discussion, because it as B said, here's a game that not only is the highest selling game that came out this year, but is extremely, extremely high quality. But it's not going to be there. And even though we hate the political aspect of things, or the kind of the fact that non-gaming issues have leaked into the gaming discussion and influence whether this game can get any nominations whatsoever. But it's the reality of things. Unfortunately, it's the way things are.
Can I piggyback a little bit on that? Because I came
ahead.
into Hogwarts a non-Harry Potter fan. Like, I've seen one movie, that's it. I don't know anything about the universe. And I'm pretty far in the game. I haven't beat it yet, but just based on what I played, like Slow-Mo, I think you're right how it doesn't really do anything new. Like, there isn't anything in there that you're like, wow, I've never seen that before. But they don't really do anything bad in the way of like, there's no negatives that we can really like find unless we're nitpicking. Because when I played it and I was doing side missions, I was interacting with the characters and just doing all the quests, I had a blast. Like, I thought it was really good and well made. And this is coming from somebody who doesn't know anything about this universe. I just know a few characters, and I was actually interested in them, and I was actually liking the game. And the combat's good. Like, it's real solid. It's a solid RPG with interesting characters, interesting quests, and it's just a good, solid game. Yeah, it doesn't really do anything new, but it's a great game. So that's kind of where I am with it. And it's a shame that if it doesn't get in there because of the politics and all of that, maybe Jeff Keighley doesn't want to touch that. I don't know. But if it's not in there, that's probably the reason why, unfortunately.
Yeah, I do believe that would be the case. I think Keeley he's got a lot of connections with various different, whether it be publishers or people in media, and I don't think he wants to make waves. Sponsors, absolutely. He ain't trying to lose none of his connections with that stuff going into 2024. Not for this game. So I mean, sorry, WB, great game, but
it's just too risky
I'm not even going to like. It wouldn't surprise me at all. He doesn't even mention the word Hogwarts throughout the entire show. Like, it just doesn't even get brought up, But
it's like it'll be
it's
forgotten. Yeah. It'd be cool because they do the music for all the different nominees. It'd be cool to hear that music.
Yeah,
they bring out the orchestra, then that'd be cool. But if it's not there, it's not there.
Yeah.
Oh, I always say this about Keeley's Awards. If they do have an orchestra come out and do a song from your game, that sorry, you're not winning Game of the Year. Like, every single time he's done that, the game that's nominated for Game of the Year doesn't win.
Oh, you mean when they have like a performance? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. He did it for like Red Dead 2. It didn't win. He did it for last year for God of War Ragnarok. I love this song. It's called Blood on the Snow. It's the last song that plays at the end when you beat the game.
Yeah,
excellent song. I got it on one of my playlists. Song's great. As soon as I heard it, I told Forte, because we were live. I told Forte, it's a wrap, yo. Elden Ring got it. Now it's over, yo.
So if we're watching, I'm gonna look for that. So we're watching the show because I want to go live too. If I'm watching it and if they perform a song, I'm gonna be like, okay, that game's not winning. I'm gonna remember that.
Yes, yeah. I feel like it's Keeley saying, "Hey, yeah. So look, you didn't win, but we really want to, that song you got, your main theme. Oh, it's so great. Yeah, we'll get our orchestra play that like right before we get to the Game of the Year awards, and you don't win. Okay, sound good? All right. Like, yeah, it happens every time. So.
Yeah, wait. It just came to my mind. Hold on, real quick. It just came to my mind. Are you sure, Slow-Mo? Because I remember in 2020, didn't Eddie Vedder come out and perform for The Last of Us? I could have sworn that happened.
Did he?
Yeah, wasn't there a performance? And they won that year. I'm pretty sure because I love Eddie Vedder. I'm a big Pearl Jam fan, so I'm pretty positive on that. That might be the only exception. Yeah, they're saying in the chat too. I think so.
Okay, what did The Last of Us Part 2 go up against?
I mean, it was 2020. It went up against Ghost of Tsushima. What else? A couple others. It won though. Yeah, 2020.
I don't remember.
So I don't know, Slow-Mo. That might not be true all the time. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Oh man, it might not. Oh, you might be right.
Yeah, I remember that.
Let me go find. I'm gonna do some research now.
Yeah, do some research. That's interesting. I'll have to see it.
2020 Video Game Awards.
Yeah, so
Oh, go ahead.
What you thinking, Brap? What you thinking
So-
for all of this?
Yeah, I disagree with logic. I understand that Larian used the template. What I forget the game now that you mentioned before.
And that's why it won't be game of the year, because you can't
No.
even keep it at the top of your mind. So forgettable.
No. Well, that's because Divinity of Sin? I forget the name of it. Anyway,
Yes.
yeah, Divinity of Sin. So I get that they use
Divinity
that.
Original Sin. That's what you mean?
Yeah. Thank you, Slow-mo. I get the but they nailed the aspects of Dungeons and Dragons, like just like the role the because I think the rules are based on, I forget what version of D&D, but they nailed that.
It's like 5th edition rules.
Fifth-
It's based around Forgotten Realms and the Sword Coast. And
Yeah,
yada, yada,
so
yada.
they nailed it. Like I've talked to like people that, and I grew up playing D&D, but I haven't played D&D in like over 30 something years now. And I've talked to people who are still playing D&D. It's funny, I interviewed someone who was a dungeon master, and I don't know how we came up talking about Baldur's Gate or video games. Oh, he had actually worked, the person I was interviewing, he had actually worked for a game publisher, and that's how we started talking about video games. But he's a dungeon master. He's like, I don't play a lot of video games. He's like, but they nailed the D&D aspect of this game. He's like, it's incredible. And I think that's the biggest differentiator for Baldur's Gate 3. And something that I saw some reviewers who were familiar with D&D, that they cited that they just knocked it out of the park in that regard. And I think that is probably, at least in my opinion, the tipping point for that game being game of the year.
But how is that? I mean, you're saying you disagree with me. How is what you're articulating disagreeing with what I said?
Because what I'm saying is that it isn't just that they copied that template. It's that they nailed the D&D aspect of the rules and the implementation of D&D in that game.
I didn't say they copied the template. First of all, I'm just going to stridently disagree. They did copy the template. I mean, it is Divinity Original Sin 2, literally to the point where the opening chapter of the game is a replica of the opening chapter of Divinity Original Sin 2. It starts on a ship. It starts with you being freed from being in prison, and you wind up landing on a beachhead, knocked out. It is literally the same as the start of the game.
But I'm saying, but
it's intermixed with, yeah. But I said it's that game,
but it's the D&D
structure
piece of it that's
intermixed with the D&D, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm
license
saying.
implementation.
Okay, I thought you were downplaying the D&D aspect of the game. I didn't hear that part. Okay,
I said it's an intermix, but I'm saying the part of that game's DNA that is Divinity Original Sin 2, you've played that.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that. But I said that the tipping point, though, and this is why I think it's game of the year, is outside of that, the D&D aspect of the game and how they nailed it. That to me is the tipping point for that game being game of the year.
Yeah, and I'll have to go back and listen to what I said. I don't think that I said it won't be game of the year. I think what I said is the fact that it leans so heavily on that past implementation is a reason that it does not have, it's not the runaway landslide automatic winner.
Mm-hmm.
That there is room for it to be challenged, and there's an argument to be had with the other games that are in the field.
Well,
in opposition to the way things were with Ragnarok and Elden Ring, and what was it, the year Red Dead Redemption 2? I can't remember what it was up against. Where these years in the past where there have been two kind of clearly head and shoulders above the rest, right, contenders.
Well, I would throw Tears of the Kingdom in there too.
So it's those two.
Yeah,
I think it's those two.
I think those are the big ones. And I said with Baldur's Gate 3, the D&D elements, that they nailed that. I mean that was that. I mean that again. That's why I think it's my game of the year, frankly. But I think with Tears of the Kingdom, like one of my concerns with Tears of the Kingdom is it was just going to be more Breath of the Wild, and it wasn't. Like the traversal in that game, the improved traversal, the fact that you weren't limited to just exploring, the main world or whatever in Tears of the Kingdom as you were in Breath of the Wild. Like now you had like areas that were I forget what they call the parts of the Tears of the Kingdom that were the sky. I forget what they call that area in the game. But you also had caves that you could discover. Who's played? I found myself just exploring caves for hours in Tears of the Kingdom. Like I couldn't believe the game was this big, and that was improved. And then the traversal, the ability to basically like build like vehicles and what I would call like rocket ships to traversal to get at different points of the map. Like and we talked about performance earlier of video games. That game, I didn't come across that game performed perfectly.
Bruh. The game runs at 30 frames per second.
Okay, we're not talking about FPS.
Wait, which game runs at 30 FPS?
He's talking about
Zelda.
Zelda. Yeah, he's talking about Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
That doesn't matter for Nintendo. Come on, you know that.
No, I agree. I'm just saying, but you can't tip your hat at it at being some.
Breath of the Wild ran at 17 frames per second in one game of the year.
I
It probably had more nominations and more award wins than actual frames.
I don't disagree.
So,
I'm just saying. Don't come up here in here flexing muscle, right? Based on the graphical performance implementation of Tears of the Kingdom.
I was talking. No, that's not what I meant. I didn't say graphical performance. What I said was that it ran well, and I was referencing what we discussed earlier this evening about games releasing broken and buggy.
How about I give you it's well optimized for the hardware platform it's on.
No, I won't accept that. It performs well.
Okay, real quick, Erica, you have a great memory. You are right.
Oh wait, hold on.
They did on 2020. They did perform a song from The Last of Us Part 2. But I will say, you look at the nominees. The Last of Us Part 2 had no competition that year. Its competition was Animal Crossing, Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, which probably got excluded off the break from actually winning because it was considered a remake, even though it's not. Ghost of Tsushima and Hades. Like, The Last of Us Part 2, like, in retrospect, you look back on it, and it just, like, there was no competition that year. Like, anyone who thought it wasn't going to win was just out of their freaking minds. So,
right, like, objectively,
they played,
the impact.
I'm surprised they played I'm not shocked they played the music that year for that game because it was, far and away going to be the winner. But you were absolutely right. Great memory.
Yeah. No, I remembered because, I really love Eddie Vedder, so I remember.
Yeah.
And I remember having to mute. I didn't want to mute it. I'm like, oh, they're going to get me for copyright. And I was like, kind of mad about that, but yeah, so I remember that.
I get hit with it every year. I just accept it. And every year Jeff Keighley's like, "Hey, don't worry."
Right. He always says, "Don't worry," and then
we got you. Yeah.
And then what happens? You go live, right? You end the stream, and what happens? You get hit with. You got
emails. Like 6 of them. Six.
It's YouTube emailing you exactly every freaking time. So dumb.
Yeah, and I'll say the side quests were, for me, much improved in Tears of the Kingdom than Breath of the Wild. But yeah, just that game was just so amazing to play for me. Like it was. I think about like the different ways I would try to customize, like making like ships or like hot air balloons to traverse. It was, yeah, and the story was really good too. The other, I was kind of with you, Cuts, after playing Spider-Man 2. Like, I'm like, oh, this could be a Game of the Year. And then after I sat on a little bit, I'm like, yeah, it's definitely a Game of the Year nominee for me, but it's not my Game of the Year.
Maybe not the winner. Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of is what I did too.
Yeah. Now, I did have Starfield up there for the Keighleys. Starfield's not in my conversation for Game of the Year. I think it's a good game. It's an okay game. It's not my favorite of the Bethesda games. Actually, I would say out of all the Bethesda games I played, it's probably I would rank at the bottom of all the Bethesda games that I've played. But it's a good game. But Final Fantasy 16 actually for me was that's in my list of Game of the Year, and I think that game will get nominated for Game of the Year for doing something.
Really?
Yeah, I think it will. I think it'll get Game of the Year because it deviated a bit from traditional Final Fantasy mold. And you saw a lot of people complaining about.
But did it execute? It's okay to deviate from what is considered the norm for your IP.
Well, I was going to get to that.
You gotta nail it, right? Yeah. I don't think they nailed it.
I thought they nailed the combat. I thought they nailed the
combat was good.
And that's what I'm talking about. Like they changed, like the combat is. I mean, obviously we say Devil May Cry 5, but the designer for Devil May Cry 5 worked on the combat in that game, and I thought the combat was great. And I actually thought the Game of Thrones narrative in that game was pretty good. It was. Let me tell you,
it's good.
Like this was a much better Final Fantasy game than Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, but 15's garbage.
Like poo Noctis, you know.
So it's like hey, you're better than this trash over here. It's like a backhanded compliment. And then the game was like extremely light on actual RPG elements.
Yeah, no,
like,
it definitely was. That's what I'm saying.
light.
But even then, and as much as I was complaining about that in the beginning, I forgot about it. As I got into the game, I forgot that it was like RPG light compared to other and then obviously I'm thinking about Final Fantasy 15 as I'm playing this game, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, which is a great
7
game.
Remake kills this game.
Yeah, I mean I don't
Like
disagree.
if you're gonna be comparing Final Fantasy games,
go ahead.
yeah, Final Fantasy 7 Remake absolutely destroys Final Fantasy.
I don't disagree with that. I find Remake's great, but I forgot about it being an RPG light, which is one of my, criticisms of the game going into it, and then playing it. It was so good in other areas that I forgot about it. It ended up being a very memorable, enjoyable experience for me. So those would be like so for me, it's, Baldur's Gate 3, my personal game there, Baldur's Gate 3, Tears of the Kingdom, Spider-Man 2, Final Fantasy 16, and I would, can we nominate DLC? Because I love Phantom Liberty.
No,
I mean, no.
But
I mean,
it
didn't have
it's
one,
also
but for your personal one, I guess.
Yeah, for my personal one.
for
I'm
your
saying my personal one,
sure.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like Phantom Liberty was really good. Like it actually got
I
me
need
back.
to finish Phantom Liberty.
Oh, Slow-Mo, let me know when you finish the story, man. It is so good. But I think for the Keeleys, I mean, I think it's going to be Spider-Man 2, Final Fantasy 16. I think Slow-Mo's favorite game, Alan Wake 2, will be there. Baldur's Gate 3. Did I say Tears of the Kingdom already?
Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, I think Tears of the Kingdom, yeah.
No Mario.
I think
You guys are thinking no Mario?
I think Mario maybe sneaks in there, maybe.
I think it has to. I'd be shocked if it's not in there.
I can see Mario Wonder being in there. I can see it in there.
It's got like a 9. What's the Metacritic? 96? I'm not even sure.
Yeah.
Mario. I mean, people love Mario Wonder. I mean, like,
It's a great game. I mean, I've been playing it. It's great.
Yeah, I haven't played it, but based on the critical acclaim, yeah, I could see that.
The wild card for me is the Final Fantasy game. It's like I could see that not getting in there. I think that's the one that might get snubbed.
What do you think?
I don't think it was going to get there anyway. What up?
Hey, what's up? What's up?
Just got through doing a whole bunch of inventory at work, checking in. Beautiful PlayStation Slims today.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it was.
How many PS5 controllers I sell today?
I don't know. Quite a bit though. Quite a bit.
Aren't they like
Quite
50?
a bit.
Aren't they retailing 50 now?
Yeah, right now they are.
Man, I'm about to buy some more dual sense
Quiet.
controllers.
What for? What do you need another controller for? You only got two hands.
Hey,
one controller.
Forte, why? First of all, why are you my business worrying about what I'm buying? Let me buy what I want to buy.
Y'all be wasting money, man.
No, just because we have disposable income
on that one.
Yeah, just because we have disposable income. Don't come on, man.
Who are you talking to with the? I got this.
Look, you came up in here a few weeks ago and told me not to buy games. I'll have you know I bought 3 games for my Nintendo Switch this week. We ain't listening to Forte when you come up in here on that program.
No, I'm gonna need you to put that all in context. Why I told you not to buy games, because you said something on the podcast, and I was like, then why the hell are you buying games?
You told me not to buy games that I wanted were on my anticipated list when they came out.
Because of what?
I don't really remember. I didn't pay attention to your rationale.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because you were talking about all the games you still got that's sitting on your hard drive, and you talking about adding more games to it.
Hey, look, man, I sit on this show and listen to y'all talk all year long about this is my anticipated game. This is what's coming out this month. Day one. I have one episode in 52 weeks where I say, I'm looking forward to these games that nobody else is paying attention to. Let me have mine, man. Let me have mine. One episode.
You can't have anything.
You can't have anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
Forte doesn't let you have nice things.
Nope.
It ain't got nothing to do with Forte. Yeah. Wait for that Call of Duty tomorrow, though. That's going to be interesting. Fun.
No, they turned off weapon tuning. We're not doing that.
Oh, well. You tell that to all the people that's going to be there tomorrow night to pick it up.
Really? You got a big midnight launch going for Call of Duty?
Yeah, I don't even know how many people going to show. It's going to be quite a bit, though.
Wait, what do you mean? Wait, hold on. What do you mean you turned off weapon tuning?
I thought weapon tuning is out for Modern Warfare 3 to be replaced by some other level up tchotchke that they're tacking on to the end of weapon leveling, but it's not tuning.
Huh?
Slow-mo's like, I'm miffed.
What?
Like, what? Like we're going to be playing Battlefield.
What the heck is that? All right. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the link.
Real quick, Sledgehammer Games has removed the weapon tuning feature present in Modern Warfare 2 and has made further improvements to make Gunsmith easier to use. This change to weapon tuning applies to both Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 weapons that utilize modifications.
Oh, man. They taking features away and charging you more money.
Yep. I'm with you, Slow-Mo. Look, I understand maybe if in the time I stepped away from Call of Duty, there's been a big bow wave of sentiment against weapon tuning. And I read this stuff that like people think that it's ineffective and you can't really feel it and blah, blah, blah. I personally, that was one of the things that I liked the most from Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, I disagree. I definitely, as soon as I maxed out a weapon, the first thing I did, I would jump in there and get the tuning in. I'm like once I got the hang of it, it's one of the aspects of the multiplayer I enjoyed.
Well,
that's why I'm kind of like.
Let me channel my inner Slow-Mo, because I'm pretty sure what you would say is this is all coming from a bunch of casuals who are getting bodied and don't have a good enough KD.
Oh man!
AKA
raising up their voice and making a loud volume about shit because they're on SBMM and they think they're up to something.
Oh man!
It's all Slow-Mo's fault, by the way. Well, Slow-Mo, that just means you play more Halo Infinite, man.
I'm fine with that too.
Me too.
Yeah, you ain't say that. You didn't sound convincing saying that. He's like, yeah, I'm okay with that too.
I think you're reading too far into this, Forte. That's what
I'm not reading enough for a person that says like, why you playing Halo? I'm like, when I say let's go play Battlefield, it's excitement coming from my voice every time I do it. You was like, no, I guess I could play Halo Infinite.
Before that, weren't you the last one to come back and get in the pool for Halo Infinite? After everybody told you it was
not
back?
There. I'm still not in the pool. I just visit every once in a while.
Oh my! This guy, you have like how many personalities do you have? Literally last Tuesday, we got done playing.
Hey, don't
this dude. No. We're done. It's 1 a.m. Me, him, and Taz are finished playing after Enrique got off maybe like an hour earlier.
And I said same time tomorrow. I said same time tomorrow.
This man, like, yeah, let's go. Hey, this time tomorrow, let's do it. And then Taz like, well, I can't be on this time. All right, a little bit earlier. Yeah. This man, he was raring to go. He's all back on Halo. Now, what's he saying? Well, I'm not really back. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
No, there's a difference. Listen. Once you step away from the game, look, that game cannot replace Battlefield for me. I will play that game every day with no fail. But I do have fun playing Halo Infinite. It's just not a game that I can like this. I can jump in Battlefield to play and play the game by myself. Pause. I can play all day. Like today, I think I played like 4 hours of multiplayer today, not with another person in the game with me. I won't do that in Halo because I refuse to. Because I don't enjoy the game that much to play it like that. I used to.
I thought you enjoyed it the other night we were running. Seemed like you're having a good time.
I said with you guys.
He doesn't want to play it by himself.
I don't want to play it by myself.
Oh,
I'm
I see what you're saying. Yeah, okay.
I used to love playing Halo by myself, but now it's like, it's just like indifferent to it. so I'd rather just wait till people are online to play it.
But then you barely, you know what? Okay. We can move on.
I know you're trying to make more of it.
You
You're trying to make more of it. More
I have
of
to
it.
like pull your teeth. I have to like pull your arm to get you to get on Halo.
Slow-mo, what did I do the other day? Did you like tell me to jump in Halo Infinite? Wasn't I like I
had
jumped
to cut you out.
I jumped in your party. No, I jumped in the party and just jumped on Halo.
What? Did you say you had to cut him out or cuss him out?
I had to cuss him out.
Do you remember him cussing me out when we were playing the other day? BRAP, Enrique. You know, I think did he say anything?
I can't hear you now, Forte. I'm ordering my controllers.
Yeah, okay. Well, go ahead. Make sure you order me one too. I'll take that real red that they actually finally came out with.
All right. So what? Okay. What were you asking for?
Hey, hold on.
Wait. Someone wasn't yelling at you, Forte.
Hold on. I got a great memory. Forte, what color is the old red DualSense controllers?
Cosmic red.
But what color are they really?
What color is it really? Well, like you mean what it looks like? It's infrared. It's like the God of War red. Honestly,
it's pink.
It's not pink.
It's a pink controller. Yeah,
they have a pink. They have a pink controller. It's called Nova Pink. It's called Nova Pink. No, I'm gonna need y'all to get y'all colorblind settings fixed.
That cosmic red is freaking pink.
Okay.
Look,
well, I mean, I'm not gonna disagree and say that
that's
it doesn't
why they
look like
came
it's all
out
the way
with an
red.
actual red controller. Because people was like, "Bruh, this is not red. Stop calling that red. That's hot pink."
Real quick,
that's some nail polish. Come on.
All right. Any other additional thoughts on Game of the Year before we wrap up here?
Mario Wonder and Zelda will be in it, and Nintendo will have 2 games. That's all that.
And Starfield's not winning.
Starfield might not even get in.
Oh man, if the Starfield doesn't get in, it's gonna be
some drama.
It's gonna be some drama Monday.
Hell yeah.
I'm ready for the chaos.
Somebody gonna get left out. I don't know. Final Fantasy shouldn't even be sniffing it.
Oof.
Not over.
Did you play Final Fantasy 16?
I still think Hogwarts should be in there if they get some balls and just go off the mirror to the game.
I don't think they're gonna have balls for that.
I know they're not. That's what I'm saying. If they get if they get the balls, because that game right there should be at least it may not win, but it should be nominated. It should be.
Let me DM,
no reason it shouldn't.
Let me DM Jeff Killia. I'll let you guys know.
Oh well,
that man follows me.
That's what I'm
Does he really
about.
cuts? He follows you?
He does, but he never talks to me.
I want to know what tweet you. What tweet? What amazing tweet did you put out?
No clue. It's been like 2 years already. He's been following me a while.
Maybe he watched one of your videos or something. It's like, okay, she's cool.
He used to listen to my podcast.
Did he really?
But
what?
Wow.
Oh, cuts. You sure? Never mind. I'm not gonna.
What the hell?
Huh?
You ain't share these trade secrets. What the hell? Got industry vets following you?
He don't really talk to me. That's why I don't say anything. Like I be hitting him up. I've even DM'd him. He just left me on red.
He just left you out
so
there.
I don't bring it up because he does follow, but we don't really
I mean, listen, that man hit the button. For some reason, you think he accidentally did it or something?
I don't know.
It just don't remember that he did it.
Who knows? It's been a while.
Did he like
I couldn't tell you.
Did he like your 2013 and 2013 picture?
Oh man.
He probably saw one. He probably saw one of your Bloodborne videos. Was like, yeah, I gotta follow this person because she's actually really good at it, and I suck.
Dude, I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? But
Cuts Bloodborne announcement at the Keeleys.
Shout out to FromSoft making another game that's not Bloodborne.
From Software is wild. The output of games they do is just insane.
I know. It's crazy.
From gods. Hey, what about Armored Core?
Armored Core.
Is Armored Core? Can Armored Core get in there for Game of the Year?
Snubbed.
No.
I don't think it will. But there's people who legit say it's their Game of the Year. I mean, people.
I've seen a couple people do that.
They've gone crazy over it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It'll get nominated for something, but probably not Game of the Year.
Listen, man, some people think DLC is a Game of the Year, so why not Armored Core?
I mean, you throwing
I
shade
mean,
at
let's
BRAP
get-
or what's
Nah,
up?
let's be for real. That if it did get nominated,
He's throwing shade cuts.
No, it's a really good DLC. I hear. I'm not throwing shade at it. I agree, 100%.
If
I talked to
Armored
someone about
Core,
that.
if it happened to get nominated, I think people would be upset. Like, oh, From Software, you guys are, like they have some kind of bias for From Software or something. I feel like people
And?
would get mad. Yeah, I don't have no problem with it, but you know how people can get. There's a lot of anti From Software people out there.
All people gonna do is say when I guess Bethesda lost the magic and stuff, they ain't got their bias no more if they don't get nominated. Actually, I think Starfield is gonna get. It's gonna be hard not.
It's game of the gen.
Well, you said that.
I didn't say that. That's what other people have been saying. Game of the gen.
Well, I don't know why you be listening to these people that don't matter.
I'm just telling
People
you what
don't
I've
matter,
heard.
man.
Damn.
I'm just telling you
People
what I've
don't
read.
matter, man.
Game of the gen.
Anybody that said that was anybody that put that type of pressure on that game saying it was game of the gen needs to go get themselves checked out.
Sheesh.
Seriously, they do.
I don't know, man.
First of all, how you gonna say game of the gen? You ain't even played the game yet at this point. It's like
No,
people are
no,
saying
I'm
this
saying-
is gonna
I'm
be
saying people that
game
have
of the
played it.
gen.
I'm saying people that have played it are saying game of the gen.
Well, they ain't played too many games then.
That's what I said earlier.
Forte, didn't y'all put that pressure on Halo Infinite?
Who did? Not me.
Everybody.
Yeah,
Not
your
me.
people.
Not
your
me.
people, Forte.
It was the flagship. It was the king until the king fell.
The pressure that I put on that thing was saying, why are you releasing this thing in a year when it needs more than that? Which is which if you go off of what I said, right around this time is when that game was actually going to become really good. 2 years after release, they should have just went ahead and bit the bullet on it. But it is what it is.
We forget that's what got me into Halo Infinite, because I felt like y'all had put too much pressure on that game.
Oh, whatever.
And then Slobo accused me of not having a high KD in Halo Infinite and getting bodied. And I said, well, damn, I guess it's time I got to get good.
Man, we were looking for you the other day.
Don't look. You can't look for me on Halo Infinite now.
He was like, "Where's Logic at?" He's like, "I don't know, man. Logic probably out there feeding birds or something." I don't know what he's doing.
Erica came up here and said I was a pony, so I guess that's where we live.
Yo, Erica, when you gonna
Click, clack.
Yo,
Click,
Erica,
clack.
when we gonna get the squad together? And we want a rematch on some
Rematch
Halo.
for what?
On some
Oh,
Halo.
Halo?
Get your squad.
Listen, my friends, they don't even play Halo anymore. The only one
But
I
what
can
do
probably
y'all-
get,
What do y'all play? That's a
they
shooter.
play Fortnite. They play Fortnite.
Oh well, you can't. Yeah,
It's a baby game.
Cuts, are you playing? It's a
baby
baby
game.
I'm down. I'm down to run
yeah,
some
yeah.
Halo though. I'm down.
Cuts, are you down for some Halo Infinite?
Yeah.
All right, let's.
I reinstalled it. I got all the updates. I'm ready.
All right,
How
let's
long-
go.
I'll come out of
Let's go.
retirement because when y'all played them last time, y'all didn't have me. in the squad.
Retirement.
Yeah, I hung up my Spartan 5 armor, man.
Oh, you talking about the one that they charged $22 for?
If I recall correctly, we won last time. Well, fortunately, we don't need a rematch.
I was there. I was there for
I
that.
want to know when I say rematch. I mean I just want to play again. I'm not
I
saying
never want to
'cause we
play
lost.
against. I never want to play against Slimo again. I was there and it was ugly. I was
Oh,
on
were
the,
you on the other team?
Yeah, I was on the other team. I was on Cuts.
Oh,
team.
you was on Team Cuts?
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry. Slow-mo
I
was
remember now.
Slow-mo
I
was
remember.
bodying people. Like it wasn't even fair. Like I reported Slow-mo for cheating.
Stop it. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't.
Oh
that
no,
bad.
it was that bad. Slow-mo,
It was
you were,
fun
Man,
though.
you were
I
like
think
30.
Slow-mo still got
It
that.
wasn't fun.
Slow-mo
think
was like
Slow-mo still-
35.
I think Slow-mo still got that recording on his PC.
Yeah, we can't do
we
that
had
again.
a good time. We had a good time because we had like private matches and a lot of people pulled up. Luca was there, us.
It was fun.
Yeah,
some
it
of
was
my
a
friends
good time.
there. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, Merc.
Merc was
Audible.
there.
Yeah, we had a good time. Some people I haven't played games with since then, like Crow. Crow came through. Yeah, we had a good time. You know,
It was cool.
that's what I miss with, and we don't get enough of that in this gaming community because it's so much arguing about stuff that's inconsequential, and everyone arguing about stuff that's like it's kind of about gaming, but it's really like spreadsheets and
Bro,
MPDs and
you're not slandering my big long data call threads, are you?
What?
Yes, I am. Just like, no, I'm not. No, I'm just saying, like, it's a gaming community, and I feel like we don't do enough of the community gaming in this gaming community.
There's a lot of people I don't want to game with this community.
Well, there's a lot of people we argue with that don't play games, but that's a different thing. So why don't we have? Why don't we have? Damn, I got myself laughing at that one. Why don't we have BRAP and DPS?
Yeah, he's not wrong.
Why don't we have BRAP DPS community gaming nights? Why is that not a thing?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
On different platforms. So we spread the love and we play on different platforms. So
Yeah, I'll be down
a
with
little
that.
Halo
Yeah.
Infinite, you know, things the PlayStation people can play, things the PC games to play, just in a
Yeah, you
rotation.
know, let's pull up on a PlayStation,
PlayStation.
What they
multiplayer
playing-
game. That
what they playing on
PlayStation doesn't have
PlayStation.
multiplayer games. They don't have
They
multiplayer.
don't got no multiplayer.
Hey, look, we could be the only 20-some people on Destruction All Stars. Let's go for it.
Oh yeah,
Hey, when
actually,
we play Call of Duty,
That's
Call of
being
Duty,
generous.
PlayStation people can play. We'll have other skins and things that y'all don't have.
Right, that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
All
we
the
could do that,
exclusive stuff. For
A
now,
little more weapon loadout slots.
for now.
For now.
The last exclusives for PlayStation on Call of Duty.
Yeah, we could even have a night where we play Splatoon for the Nintendo Switch people.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that.
Hey,
one.
I got.
'Cause,
hey,
I
let me tell
tried
you,
Splatoon.
I got
I
body.
don't like it. I don't like it.
There's some good people in that game.
Yeah, gyro controls is just it's too different for me. And
You do Mario Kart.
Oh yeah, Mario.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can do that.
Mario Kart.
We
can do
Everyone
it.
does Mario Kart on Nintendo Switch. Yeah, Mario Kart's always a good time.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah,
we
and
could
what's
do
that,
Mario Kart, yeah.
What's that Nintendo game? What's the Nintendo game where everybody hates everybody when they play? Is that it's a Mario game?
Mario Party?
Yeah,
Mario.
I think that's it. I think that's it.
I heard the most recent one wasn't that good though. But
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know.
I think it didn't have
Only-
online, right? It was kind of sketchy. Like it didn't have online play or
There was
something.
something about that. I think I heard it didn't have as many different like mini games within it as the previous one or something like that. Like it was something about it that people were really disappointed about. But I don't know. Like I barely use my Switch. I'm playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Blade,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
it.
I heard that's
yeah,
good.
I'm playing that now. It is good. It is good. I'm going through that now, and I'm going to get Super Mario RPG remake or remaster, whichever.
But, hey, why don't we play Grounded?
Ew.
So anyway,
That's why did you say ew?
I don't know. I'm just being silly.
You
I
said
never
ew.
played it.
What about what's the pirate game? Sea of Thieves. We could do that.
Sea of Thieves?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, what's wrong
Not
with
at all.
Sea of Thieves, man?
You know, for real, we could actually bring back some Gears of War multiplayer nights.
Oh, no.
That's-
No.
Yeah,
I
we could do
haven't
that. I'd be
rodeo-
down for
That
that.
is.
I haven't
is
rodeo
Erica's
run in
bag.
years. I
I'll
ain't
be down
rodeo
for that.
run in years.
Gears 5?
I don't
Cuts,
even
would
know
you
what
be up
that's
for that?
like.
Ooh. If you guys
course you
wanted
would.
to, I'd pull up. Yeah, of course. I'd pull up.
I'm on
I'm the
Erica's
Gears
team.
girl. I gotta do it.
I'm on Erica's
We gonna
team.
win. I mean, I'm just gonna tell you right now, we're probably gonna win if you're on my team.
Yeah, that's why I said whatever side you're on, I'm just gonna switch over.
Yeah, it's
For
it's
sure.
gonna be hard to do PlayStation stuff though, like outside of COD, because like I'm trying to think like outside of what's that Destruction All Stars.
Hey, we'll be able to play Foam Stars if we keep it going for a year.
Oh, we could play Foam Stars.
Or we could play Splatoon.
Yeah.
I would say, we could play the new
already
factions
talked about
game, but
Oh,
that
we
don't
could
even
do that. Oh,
exist.
but never mind. Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a lot of multiplayer options on the PlayStation side.
We could
Outside of third
actually
party.
do. So we've been talking about competitive multiplayer, but again, actually, particularly for you guys who are streaming, we could do a Baldur's Gate 3 co-op night, couldn't we?
Yeah, we
Oh,
could
that's
do Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
We could do Baldur's Gate 3 co-op. I heard that's a lot of fun.
I don't even have the game. I was really thinking of getting it the other day.
Cuts.
And then
Such a
you
big
realize,
game, though.
then you
Like-
realize how big the game was and how it takes
Don't
away from all your other
Right.
games.
Cuts.
Right.
Play it.
Yep.
Play it.
Same thing I
I
thought of.
want to,
Cuts.
but
Play it. You
yeah,
just
but it's
you owe it to yourself.
don't I need
No.
like 100+ hours though to get through that?
Don't worry about it.
At
Just
least?
enjoy
Yeah.
it.
Cut, you got a kid. Cut, you got a kid. Needs your attention.
Oh yeah, hey, Chris Cohen's right. Enrique, I can't believe we forgot about this. Ghost Legends on Ghost of Tsushima, the multiplayer.
We could play Ghost Legends where we play against each other.
I'm down for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or we could do the horde mode. What'd you say? Slobo?
As I remember carrying you in that multiplayer.
Oh, no.
Carry me? I never played.
Yes.
I know what you're talking about now. Where you like?
Yeah. You mean Eric?
I was so underleveled.
I just started, Enrique. You were
no. You were some insane level. Nah, you were
no. I had just Enrique. It was like my first day playing it.
Ghost Legends is they have the horde mode and then they have the versus mode.
Yeah, I never did the versus mode.
The versus mode I played with T-Rock a lot. It's good.
Yeah,
it's really good.
I heard it was good. Yeah, but yeah, I'll be down for that. Go ahead and reinstall that. I haven't played Ghost in so long. That game was so good.
Yeah. Although I was carrying you in Halo Infinite the other night, Slow-Mo, but that,
Oh, really?
I mean, Forte, am I wrong?
I don't know what you're talking about. You wouldn't keep playing with us last night. You left. You missed out. You missed out on some really good games at the end. We said we was only gonna play like one more game. We ended up playing like 7.
That's why I left, because I knew it was gonna happen. I'm like, I'll go to be up to like 1:30 in the morning.
That was fun. We started stomping people.
Yeah. No, that was fun. We had some good matches.
I tell you, once I get the hang of that game again, it's a wrap.
Yeah, I always say
I played it.
The
do
game,
that for a time.
The gameplay mechanics, the gunplay in that game is so good.
Yeah, it's second best, but it's good.
It's really good.
It's better than Battlefield. Better gunplay than Battlefield.
Oh, I'll disagree with that. But that Battlefield's a completely different game too.
Yeah,
very true.
We shooting over a whole large landscape.
Right, it's a completely different game, though.
You two are. I'm not playing Conquest.
Oh, you know what, Slobo?
I don't like Conquest. Conquest.
No. You see, this is the thing. They added a tactical Conquest to the game where it is no vehicles now.
Yeah.
So
really?
I would play that.
64 on 64 tactical Conquest, no vehicles. It's just land.
I would play
on the ground warfare.
I would play that
because I can do that.
Because
I can rock with that.
I got tired of like F-15 Raptors crashing into me. Like, that's not fun.
Man, that's the greatest, man.
Yeah, that's the best part.
No.
But I was literally watching. I was literally in a Huey helicopter, using my scan ability with my with the specialists with Rio, and all of a sudden it was just jet that just like F-22 comes up behind us trying to kill us. My man was strafing between the buildings in the Huey, and he like pulled up on it, and literally the plane ran into the building in front of us and it just exploded. I was like, yo, only in Battlefield. It was
when you got a good pilot, man. You
man,
some real
he was really good in that. Like, we never died. We stayed literally in the air the whole match.
That sounds
never died.
Awful.
Yeah, he's good. He was good though.
I'm not gonna lie, that is kind of fun. If you get like a good pilot, like I've had that experience. Yeah, it's actually kind of fun.
Man, it was like you just see all types of like, man, it's like the other, and then it's like when people are super aggravated with you because everybody starts switching to like AMRAMs and RPGs, and everybody starts aiming for you, and they say skip everybody else on the map, take this helicopter now, and they still couldn't get us. It was crazy, bro. It was so fun. But yeah, we need to do that, man. But yeah, he's right though. That yeah, you're right. Halo has a better overall, what's the gunplay, but that's just because it's a completely different game.
Yeah, we should definitely do that. I think Logic's onto something here. I think we should definitely do that because it was really I had a great time playing with you, Forte and Slow-Mo, and oh man, what's his name?
Oh, B, I gotta add you, man, on what's the name? So, cause you be over there, we need to get on there and play together, man.
Yeah, man, I sent y'all an invite on EA.
I'm logging into EA now to look.
Are you guys playing? Are you guys getting on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3? Is anyone picking
I
that up?
haven't.
I don't know yet.
Get it till it goes on sale.
Yeah, I'm not paying $70 for that game, bro.
I have it. I've played through that trash campaign. I'm waiting for tomorrow. I'll be on it tomorrow.
How long did it take you to beat the campaign? 3.5 hours?
No, because I wasn't playing on recruit like these losers out here.
You played on veteran?
Yeah, man.
Oh, so that means it took you about 6 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like about 6-7 hours, something like that.
Man, veteran's the only way to play a Call of Duty game. You're literally sleepwalking through the game if you play on anything less than that.
Do reviews? Is the embargo up tomorrow?
Yes, it's up tomorrow. I think we got one review from IGN.
What did they give it?
For Call of Duty?
Yeah, Modern Warfare 3. They gave it a.
It's bad, right?
Yeah, they give it like a 4.
Oh, that's the campaign. We're talking about the whole game.
Oh no, yeah, that's just the campaign.
Yeah, they reviewed different, I guess.
Yeah, they reviewed the campaign. They gave it a 4 out of 10.
That's so weird that they just reviewed the campaign. Like it's like we're just going to review. I guess we can get double the traffic. Have you come back twice?
There you go.
Right.
Yeah. There you go.
It's only like 3 hours or something like that. It's pretty short.
Yep.
Well, like Slomo said, if you're playing on recruit where you can just literally walk up the street like you're RoboCop and not die, then yeah, it probably will only take 3 hours.
Right.
Screen don't even turn red as you walk up the street.
Right. I mean, like I played through it and it wasn't. There may have been like maybe 3 or 4 missions I thought were cool. Everything else was just like kind of like eye rolling. Like this is very much like reminds me of DMZ, like Call of Duty DMZ and Warzone, where you're like basically picking up things that you need and grenades and drones and stuff like that as you're kind of going around the level and stuff. It was just, I'm like, the story didn't make any sense. And if you played the previous Call of Duty campaign last year, which is actually really good, it really just undoes any of the impact of anything that happened with the previous game. It just it sucks. Yeah.
All right.
So
all right.
It says, what's your score? I don't do scores.
Hey, wait, we got to wrap up.
I just got one last question before we leave.
Yep.
So have a new dog. His name is Cooper. He's right here next to me in the basement. What is the name of a wiener dog? What is the actual name of the wiener dog or a hot dog?
A dachshund.
Okay, good. So I'm not going to lie about this. Everybody, I swear everybody in Michigan, for the most part, calls it a dash hound for some reason. Even myself, I guess it's because that's how it was just growing up. Like, oh, the wiener dog is a dash hound. So I had a customer come in, and I was showing him pictures of him, and I said he's dash hound, and he's like, "What the fuck did you call that dog?"
Jeez.
I said, a dash. He was like, "You mean a dachshund?" I was like, "No, dash." It says been this like literally my whole life. The wiener dog's been a dash hound. He was like, look up the Google thing and click the button and see what it says. And I did, and I was like, oh. So I come home and I asked my wife, and I was like, Tisha, what's the name of the wiener dog? She said a dash hound. I said, no, it's called a dachshund. And she wanted to fight me. She literally was about to fight me in the house because I told her, no, the dog's name is it's a dachshund. It's literally a dachshund. And she's like, no, it's not. So I said, go to YouTube, go to Google and say, how do you say dachshund or dash hound? And she looks it up and it says it. And she literally had to question everything that was going on. Like literally it was a conversation amongst our family in a group chat. Because everybody was calling this dog a dash hound forever.
All right, we gotta wrap up.
When Enrique wanted to end the show, and you said one more thing,
Hey, one more thing.
All of us thought your one more thing was going to be gaming related, and
No,
not
that is. No,
about
because
I'm talking about a
wiener
dog.
dogs.
No, it's
That's
about
what Forte,
because he's gorgeous and he's sitting right here
Forte,
next to me. And I wish we were on camera.
you need to go to bed.
In the show. He's in the show.
Yeah, we got to end the show. You guys can
You can continue that tomorrow,
You can
Forte.
continue,
Ain't I
yeah.
going to be on the show tomorrow?
continue
Oh,
on
I-
DPS tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah.
actually, I can do this.
Yeah. All right. DPS tomorrow. Whose channel is it on?
Forte channel.
There he is.
9
So
p.m.
there's going to
Eastern
be a
time.
lot of technical
Oh,
errors.
he on
Sorry,
video.
Erica.
Okay.
Yeah, there you
Wait,
go.
what's
All
up? What's
right.
up?
I said there's going to be a lot of technical errors tomorrow because Forte is hosting. So
Oh, man.
I apologize in advance. Erica will be joining us tomorrow on DPS. So
Yeah,
for
I'll
the-
be
for
there.
those
I'll
that
be there
don't-
tomorrow.
Oh,
Oh,
Cuts.
you're
all
there
right.
tomorrow?
Cuts will be there tomorrow. All right.
Oh, well, at least it won't be. At least the show won't run long tomorrow.
Yep. All right. All right. Cuts. Thank you for joining us again tonight. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
fun.
Cute dog.
I was super tired and like sometimes I don't even know what the hell I'm saying, but apparently I made sense. So yeah, I had fun. Thanks for having me. It was good talking, and yeah, Monday's gonna be crazy. I was kind of wishing like maybe I could have been on next week so we could talk the actual nominees, but today was cool because we could actually
You can always come
just
back.
predict what it's gonna be. Yeah.
Cuts. You can always
eventually.
come back if you
Yeah.
want to join us. On the show, come back. Yeah.
We'll see what's up. But it was fun just talking with you guys, catching up. And yeah, game nights, we should definitely do it. So I'm down. Yeah, but for everybody watching, you can find me Eric Cuts for the win. Just check me out on YouTube. I do a lot of Souls content. If you're into Souls, I'm your girl. So yeah, check it out.
No doubt. Well, thank you,
Thanks for
Cuts.
having me.
Yeah, absolutely. No, thank you, Cuts. Your dog is very cute, Forte.
Oh,
I see it.
Yeah,
I
it's
see
a
it.
Yeah.
Super
adorable
cute.
dog.
He's a cute dog. All right, and then Game Logic. If you want to be found, everyone know where they can find you.
I do not.
All right, Game Logic. What about B Money?
Yeah, I'm tired of talking to these goofballs on Twitter. Don't look for me.
I mean, well,
Look at
listen,
that.
man.
We got two in the club.
Listen, man. We got people out here blocking people for no reason. Don't even know why.
Oh,
They
yeah.
They don't like you when you say something that doesn't match with their narrative.
Oh,
Block.
that's nothing.
All right, so we got Cuts on Forte's channel tomorrow. Gaming Forte on YouTube, 9 p.m. Eastern time, and Slomo. You can follow Slomo at Slomo Backslap, aka King KD, aka Mr. Teabagger,
Oh, my God.
aka the Halo Infinite Destroyer. I could go on.
Okay. And great show as usual. I had a lot of fun. And see you guys tomorrow on DPS, Forte channel, and the DPS channel as well. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or whenever Forte decides to go live, which will probably be like 9:05 or something like that when he finally shows up.
You didn't know
something.
that?
how
That's.
it is.
I'm glad you know that.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Everyone have a great rest of the evening, and thank you again. We'll catch you next time.